ChairShot Podcast coming at you for another week. Kind of our first proper real week of broadcasting coming your way on this ensuing 2 to 3 hour broadcast. Last week was jam stuff, bursting at the seams. Your phones nearly all exploded in your pockets when that episode downloaded, because we sent, I assume, a 100 gigabyte file your way with all the features we stuffed into last week's show. Got the regular fun and games coming up this week. We got news, we got reviews, we got guffs, we got features, we got Fantasy League. I am your host, Barry, taking you through it all. With me, as always, is the ever my mouth, baby. One of my co-hosts, we got Joe.
Hello.
Pressing the buttons over there, we do indeed have Paul.
What button do I press today? I'm going to press the Windows key and see if it does anything.
Press wank oof.
It's brought my start menu up. What the fuck?
Honk honk. You know what? I just think I talked about this a few weeks ago. I bought a little deck for my desk here for streaming purposes. So I have a tiny little board with like buttons and knobs on it for streaming. Now it's mainly just for like turn my mic up, turn the gameplay volume down, stuff like that. But like I could put a soundboard on this if I wanted to. I just bought it just to make streaming somewhat easier. But yeah, I could put a button on here that I press. It goes honk honk. You know, I could do all that, and we could make it a bit more like 1990s radio, or 2020s radio if you're in Ireland. I mean, our radio hasn't really changed that much in 30 years, to be honest. If you are listening to this and you want us to rate your chicken roll fillings, ChairShotPodcast.com and send that over to us there. Also, where's the best spice bag in your town? Folks,
also,
coming up next.
What is this mystery noise?
Yeah, what celebrity said this?
With €20, if you.
What celebrity said this? And then my bum was out. Who said that, folks? Anyway, coming up next, it's Westlife. You're listening to CSP FM. Alrighty, we do have a loaded show to get through here. I mean, you know, I was just following up last week's show. I mean, I just wrapping up 2K25. You can't really see it because it's an audio podcast, but I do have my prized possession. My CSP Fantasy League Awards is in my office. It's again, the lads can't see it right now, but I mean, if you tune in to the stream on Wednesdays, it is directly over my shoulder, so it'll be in shot forever for the rest of my streaming career. So thank you very much, Paul, for all you do for us here on CSP. Thank you very much for that.
Let's just say I have one, Barry has one, Joe doesn't yet. I'm sure he will at one point.
Little Holden Kirk over there snubbed constantly.
Barry, just so you know, you're never getting another one. If you win again, just get a little marker out and write 2027.
26, yes. I will do that.
It'll be like when they win the World Cup and they just engrave the new name on it. They don't buy a new one every time. You just get a little name.
Squashy on the bottom.
We should get a fancy award and it put side plates on it, and I'll just send it to the winner. We all have our own custom side plates.
I'll send you a sticker with the year on it, and you just put that over previous year. But yeah, happy it arrived. I've got a red one. Barry's got a blue one. I only copped on afterwards that I should have color coded it to like the teams as they're colored on the Anyway, we'll talk about the Fantasy League soon, because we're only 3 weeks in officially, because week 1 was just a collision. We've had 2 full weeks, 2.5. Already fucking madness. So
it's all popping off.
I just did want to mention for listeners as well, last week we did our year-end awards, and we kind of didn't know who our Hall of Champions were for the total package awards. I do have that list, so I do want to mention to people, not like us to be literally making the show up as it's happening. What's the analogy people say? Building the plane while it's in the air.
Yes.
A little bit of that. So for the new listeners who haven't been around since we started, sit down for this one, listeners, since we started in February 2010. I was going to run through the list here that people know, and then they can email in and go, excuse me, fucking CM Punk in 2012, are you sure? But here's our list. Here's our, how many do we have? 16 total package of the year winners. So again, the award is its official title is the Lex Luger honorary total package wrestler of the year award. A joke we came up with year 2 probably, and then it just stuck ever since.
Just stuck.
So,
Yeah.
just stuck. 2010, Daniel Bryan.
Mm-hmm.
It was interesting because he was in NXT most of that year. He really only returned at SummerSlam. I don't know what he did the rest of the second half of the year, but we were on the Daniel Bryan train pretty much straight away.
Back in 2010, folks, we were reviewing Raw, SmackDown,
Every
and
show.
Impact every week, and I mean I don't remember much about him, but I mean that was a dog shit year for American television wrestling. So so Bryan was the easy winner.
2011, Randy Orton.
Yeah,
Good Lord.
I guess he had a good year. 2012, CM Punk.
yeah.
Is it not CM Punk in 2011 when he had the whole Money in the Bank?
I remember, and I don't even think it was
Yeah.
just us. But I think people listening might remember. I think post Money in the Bank, I think people found his routine quite cloying. It was a lot of
Kevin Nash feud.
Oh, can I call you that? You know, it was a lot of that. You know,
2013, Daniel Bryan again.
hell yeah.
He had the good SummerSlam win. So that's our first 2-time winner. Note that one down. 2014, Seth Rollins.
How things have changed.
How things have changed. 2015, Kevin Owens.
Okay.
Yeah, fair.
I think that would have been the year he was, again, mostly probably at NXT, just debuting on the main roster.
Did see the matches. Yeah.
Didn't see any matches. 2016, AJ Styles.
Okay. Yeah.
He obviously debuted in WWE that year. 2017, Pete Dunne. I'm going to imagine
That was
probably
awesome.
probably a lot of the OTT heavy lifting going on there. Although 2017, that's when the NXT UK tournament would have happened as well, and he wouldn't expect him to pick up second one anytime soon. 2018, Ronda Rousey.
Again,
Now,
in real time, that made sense, everyone. In real time, that made sense.
For everyone comes at us, I think the general consensus is that first one was still quite good.
First year was great, yeah.
The second one was dog shit, let's be honest. But that first one,
Great. What about the third run?
ooh, in Ring of Honor. 2019, so this is obviously when certain little Antonio Khan shows up. 2019, Cody Rhodes. So I think that's still fair to say. That first year, a lot of the highlights in my mind of that year. A lovely little lip quivering Cody Rhodes.
Code man, yeah.
Couple of them.
A lot of AEW's
partner. I need my brother.
A lot of AEW's. It's funny because now he is the most quintessential WWE wrestler ever. But a lot of their kind of like territories, wrestling stuff manifested in Cody.
The lashing
Earlier, that stuff was great. The cage match with Wardlow with no run-ins and no leaving the cage. Remember that, Tony?
Yeah.
Remember that?
Cody Rhodes deserved in 2019.
Yeah.
This one I want to say is a little. There were emotions that played. I don't know if we necessarily picked this one because they had the best year, but 2020 was Brody Lee, who of course had just passed away a month before so that might have been more of a tribute award.
Yeah.
Although Brody Lee winning this one had a good year, but
He had a great run until his extremely untimely passing, and also 2020, another year that was not. I mean, that was
was a
early
weird year.
COVID. All the promoters trying to figure out how do you do COVID wrestling and stuff, and I thought, he had a great run, but yeah, certainly a tribute to the great man.
so we still only have that's the entire 2010s. Only one person who won more than once. That's Daniel Bryan with 2 wins in 2010 and 2013. And so our decade, our first, the wrestling equivalent of Taskmaster Champion of Champions, 2010's award went to Bryan Danielson, of course. So he was our wrestler of the decade for the 2010s as well. 2021, Bryan Danielson.
Cute.
Obviously debuted at All Out. He main evented WrestleMania that year and then debuted at All Out and made a big impact pretty much immediately. That Kenny Omega standoff at Grand Slam still
He matched this match, is it? Yeah.
still gives me the mala goosebumps. 2022, our most recent and perhaps last WWE winner of the award. 2022, we did give Roman Reigns. I think Roman Reigns, to be fair, had a he was the man that year. 2023 for the fourth time, and again, dare I say, last, Bryan Danielson. 2024, Will Ospreay. So, I mean, of all the people we've given so far, maybe the best chance of another two-time winner.
Yeah.
And then obviously last week, 2025. Surprising that this was his first win, Jon Moxley, 2025, given how integral he was throughout AEW's first couple of years.
Yeah.
So there we go. Interesting looking back that I would have assumed we would have had more two-time winners, but only Bryan Danielson. He's the only person who's won more than once, and he's won 4 times. Everyone else joint on 1. So who will be 2027, I wonder?
Bryan Danielson.
Yeah. I'm going to make an early pick for John Cruz. He takes bumps.
He's up to a good start.
Yeah.
Anyway, that's just to close out last week's episode. But we have some very, very important news this week. Didn't see this one coming, folks. Tanahashi went into the barber and said, "Brother, you see that Okada guy? Give me what he's got. Give me one of them."
Showing back and sides, brother.
Yeah. Well, he left a little bit of length on it, but it's
truly over.
Man haircut.
It's truly over. Yeah, he went there. Give me the. I'm just the president of a company now. Haircut. I got Zoom meetings to get to, brother. Give me one of them. Yeah, just to really much like Aaron Wolf making the declarative statement of coming out dressed like the young lion. Tanahashi's like, I know people say retirements in wrestling don't last, but I've gotten rid of the hair, so it's over. It's fucking over. Very sad state of affairs, but listen. He's committed. Truly over. But listen, he's got a lengthy boardroom career ahead of him. I have no idea if that like title is like ceremonial or I don't know how involved he actually is in.
I think he is. I
assume he is because it wasn't.
He's going to be in the office every day typing away.
I'm no expert on Japanese culture, but I don't think they do a lot of you're the ceremonial president.
Yeah, here's your EVP title. So
one thing I liked here well, not really a mullet. There was sometimes he was coming out and he looked like an auntie. Do you know when he would have it like parted in the middle?
Listen, he's had some highs and lows over the years. He really has.
High fly low. One thing I liked here, it was all the feedback about how all the Japanese lads love Tony Khan and how he comes up to shake their hand after their matches.
Oh, really?
In Japan, they don't even look at you after you've come back from your 40-minute concussion brawl.
Yeah, leaving it all out there.
Which again is another thing, I guess, about Japanese culture, about how it's different. Like Tony Khan, according to now, this is obviously heard third hand. This wasn't Okada himself coming out on busted open radio and spilling his guts. But the word was that Okada very appreciative of the fact that Tony Khan will come up after your match, after you put in the effort, and shake your hand and say thank you very much.
Hug.
Okada-san, give you a big hug. Whereas in New Japan, you're just kind of expected to shut up.
Shut the fuck up.
Yeah, or in WWE, go backstage and the fucking egotist is like, all right, picture with me. Come on, picture with me. No, everyone does it. Get in the fucking picture, mate.
In WWE, you go and thank bosses.
Yeah.
Instead of bosses, thank you. Yeah.
Listen, Jesus, I know you've just come out of the tomb. I know it's been a long 3 days for you, but come on, in the picture, mate. In the fucking picture. Oh, dearie me.
Triple H's head is the big boulder outside the tomb. So.
Alrighty, listen, we've got wrestling news. We've got wrestling news to get to, aside from Tana's Barnet.
Yeah.
We've got some moving and shaking going on in the world of wrestling. We'll start with the smaller stuff and work up to the more sizable jumps. TK announced Persephone and Mascara Dorada signing dual contracts, as well as Hechicero. And I think everyone else on this planet was like, we knew that, right? Like that was already known. But so dual contracts, so still working CMLL, but sure to be more of a fixture. I mean, since they got Hechicero, I mean, he has been a semi-regular on TV. So I think that would be
Persephone much less so. So I wonder if that's something that's just going to start now. But like Mascara Dorada has been around quite a while as well.
Yeah, you would hope. You would hope. I mean, there's I think they could do. I think some new blood in that women's division is good because we've been singing its praises this year. But I think a lot. So I think a new face in there would be appreciated on a regular basis. So yeah, that's good news for them.
Yes.
In something that will probably factor into our forthcoming TNA review featuring Townie shortly. Like half their roster left like a day before their biggest show in like 15 years. Because apparently they were all just working without contracts and all this other stuff. No visas. Well, they got caught unawares by this debut on a television network for the first time in 15 years. It happens.
I mean, we'll get to that, but I do love people using that. Oh, well, you can't blame TNA because it was a visa issue. And it's like, yeah, but it was people from different countries,
Yeah.
And if it was like, the UK embassy is fucked up, and no, this is like all of the international talent. So obviously, Tommy Dreamer put his fucking jelly donut on the visa forms and forgot to send them in. Like, come on, that is their responsibility. It can happen to WWE, it happens to AEW, but not like.
Not this
five
many
different people before your fucking big show of the year.
They had to like completely restructure that show. So yeah, the Rascals. So funnily enough, again, foreshadowing doom. A day before the TNA show, the Rascals were announced as debuting in AEW, which is 4 people right off the bat. One of whom, Myron Reed, was in an X Division match, which was like the one half decent looking thing advertised for the show was Myron Reed versus Leon Slater. And then Leon Slater didn't leave the company, is a contracted TNA wrestler, and in a classic, funnily enough, we were just talking about it, Paul, shades of 2017, 2018 European indies, WWE going, your biggest show of the year, you've booked a 10,000 seat arena. So we need Pete Dunne to work like a house show in Withenshaw. Against in Wigan against Fandango. The biggest show of TNA's modern history. And Fandango's going over, and brother, you better believe it's 180 seconds tops, before you get too excited.
Oh god!
They pulled Leon Slater for a house show, and TNA, I guess, just said okay, even though they could have rightly told them to fuck off, but. I mean, they're not telling the big man to fuck off, seeing as it's mostly thanks to them they even got this show to begin with. So yes, all up in a heap. And it seems like Killer Kelly is also that was not right here this week during the show, but I think 2 or 3 weeks ago the news kind of broke that she was leaving as well.
And during the show they announced the Iconics.
Yes,
as well.
I mean, one
of the 3 matches, half of them were
gone, and
afterwards.
This was because we already were stunned by this when they announced this television deal. You look at that roster and you're like, who is paying this company money for this? This is another bit of evidence suggesting that perhaps they are not getting. I don't think they're getting 250 million quid a year for this AMC deal, because it certainly doesn't look like they gave everyone a fresh suite of contracts.
250 quid a week, I think.
250 quid a week, it might be.
In better news, they have signed the Righteous to contracts, which
you win some, you lose some, don't you?
Surprised me because they were already wrestling for the tag titles. So I was like, we've signed the Righteous. Oh, wait, aren't they headlining the pay-per-view?
Yeah.
Okay.
Oh, fair dear you me. Yeah, TNA is going to TNA. We'll talk more about them in a few moments. And I suppose the big news then of the week was the departure, which with each passing day seems more and more certain, of Will Hobbs leaving AEW and seemingly WWE bound. Obviously, not yet cemented that last part, but news broke. There was no real reports contradicting it, and then they very hastily made a trios title match on Wednesday. That was then taped on Wednesday as well. That got the title off him instantly. And I think there was just an update earlier today. He's off the roster page. So I've seen a lot of.
I love Hobbs.
I really like Hobbs. I'm simultaneously disappointed But also, I can kind of see it. He's staring down the barrel of his 4th year as like a heavy in a stable, and you're kind of like, do I think he would be a world champion in either company? I don't know. Maybe not. But like, if you look really pragmatically at like who's on the cusp of breaking out in AEW, I mean, it's worth reminding ourselves that Will Ospreay and Kyle Fletcher still haven't been world champions. Do you know what I mean? You look at them, then you look at your Mark Briscoe, your Danny Garcia. You make a little list of all the people. Swerve still in the mix, Hangman still in the mix. You're kind of like, if you were to map out 2026, I don't see a lot of people on Hobbs' level or Hook's level for that matter. I don't see them moving up. So if you're looking at the lay of the land, even if you don't necessarily forecast better things in WWE, you'd have to give it a spin.
I think he's 34 as well, so maybe there's an element of
time to start making money.
Going to happen. Yeah. Well, if it's not going to happen now, is it going to happen? So maybe go for it. Yeah, sad one. I mean, this is one. I mean, sometimes when talent leave AEW for WWE, we can be very snarky about it, understandably. But this is one where I would say, good luck. Should he come back someday, take him back with open arms. I'm very much like Will Hobbs. Wish nothing but the best for the lads. So,
Willie Hobbs. Remember when he was Willie Hobbs and he ran out and what was he? Who did he turn on when he?
Big Willie.
Was it like Team Taz wasn't else and then he turned on?
He joined. He was originally with Cody.
Yeah, he was with Cody and he turned and joined. Oh, Willie Hobbs.
He did some really fun stuff. And the funny thing about the prospect of if it doesn't work out and he does come back, I do think they'd welcome him back. But the other conversation I've seen kind of happening around this signing, and I think it's kind of interesting, is that 6 years in at this stage, or 7 years in, we're in the 7th year of AEW, I think we can now say certifiably that Tony is not a big guy pusher. It's just not his preference for wrestling, and I think he quite obviously likes Hobbs. He's much kind of like Jade. I think people WWE fans will act like people like Hobbs just materialize out of thin air as a star. He was a guy from Dark during the pandemic who Tony put on TV and made a fixture of TV and got over to a reasonable degree. So they obviously liked him, but I do think guys the big heavy muscle guys. I mean, they kind of get the Lance Archer kind of gets the once in a blue moon title shot on TV, not even a pay-per-view. You know what I mean? That's kind of your ceiling. You know what I mean?
I think Tony, a big Bill doing anything
exactly. Yeah, Tony. The Kyle Fletchers of the world are Tony's guys. Do you know what I mean? That's his type. And obviously
it's funny because there's McMahon parallels where Vince liked the big muscle heads. Tony Khan likes his 6 foot to 6'3", 230
slender cut guys
who can work kind of hybrid Japan and lucha styles. That's his bag,
So
Salute Powerhouse Hobbs for the good years, and maybe see him down the road.
And look,
if he absolutely catches on in WWE, great for him.
Yeah. Hopefully hopefully it's not some fucking goofy NXT. I mean, Ricky Stark still being in NXT is crazy. I mean, like I said, Hobbs is kind of older than you might think. He can wrestle. He has the tools. He does not need NXT. Do you know what I mean?
He should win the Royal Rumble. There you go.
Yeah. Do you want to update your prediction show?
Powerhouse Hobbs wins the Royal Rumble.
The powerful house Willie Hobson. Women's Royal. I'm gonna hit with the Jim Ross dismissive comment.
The Miss Royal Rumble. Come on.
I'm Mother's Milk.
Come on.
Oh dear.
Back off.
So I think that's kind of it for the big moving and shaking jumps and people debuting and whatnot. So there you go. I think that's it for the wrestling news for the week. Any life guff before we get moving here? I don't really have any.
Yeah, I'm sorry. I'm just going to throw the TNA review down into the review section where it really ought to be be honest. I am on the hunt for some furniture. Ooh, baby. So I went scoping in the week, not with the intent to buy, just to compare,
just to peruse
the in-person version of Go Compare, or one of those tools, or for furniture, not for like insurance.
I believe it's called shopping. Yeah, go on.
Window shopping. So I wanted to get a nice shelving unit, not like Billy shelves, but like a proper one. Big
a real,
shelf. A real one, quote unquote, a real one. I wanted to get a nice coffee table. We don't have a coffee table yet. And ideally something multi-layered, so you can have something on top, maybe put your video game controllers underneath, your remote controls underneath, magazines, whatever. Lampshades, we need to get 5 lampshades. This room that I'm in, of course, has one, as I'm well aware. Me and Barry, I mistakenly told Barry that there was no lampshade in the room that I was sitting in right before we started recording, until I turned around and looked and saw that there was one. And I want to get some picture frames. Well, I bought some prints over Christmas that I need to get framed and put up. So yeah, I did some shopping. Yisk seems to be the new hot place. Yeah, countering IKEA. I'm not a huge IKEA fan, to be honest. I feel like I'm in the zoo when I'm walking around. They're predestined little paths you have to go and look at stuff. Yisk is a lot more your classic standard shop.
Yeah.
I also made the mistake of going into an Easy Living, which is one of those shops where the stuff is very nice, but I mean, the cheapest coffee table would be like $390.
Yes. They also do that gimmick of like they frequently have sales. Going in there, you know, when you have not been summoned by their text message saying there's a sale is insane. Yeah.
Insanity. So I don't think I'll buy anything there, but I did take notes of all the stuff that I'm going to buy and wear. I'll tell you what has a good, ironically, range of lampshades is The Range. That was the best place I found for lampshades.
Okay. No place is kind of pricey.
A little bit, but I was surprised how difficult it was to find, number one, shelving units, and number 2, lampshades. Like 4 of the 5 shops I went to didn't have. They sell beds, they sell chairs, they sell couches. No lampshades.
No lampshades.
No lampshades. We're moving into a world where lampshades don't exist. It's all fancy little lights now. LED strips. Oh, shit. I just want a nice simple lampshade for the house. So I still have a lot of books in storage, because there's nowhere for them to go. So when I get that bookshelf, like for example, all my beloved Legend of Zelda books, I have 30 of them or whatever,
right,
in a box in an attic currently at my parents' house. So I need to go back and get them and put them in a nice shelf. Oh, the place is going to start looking real class soon. Still very like the walls are all still very bare.
Yeah, work in progress.
It's kind of work in progress, half populated. And then I guess the only other thing to mention is Manchester United 2, Manchester City 0. Eat shit.
Mm-hmm.
So,
eat shit, Pep. You bold fraud.
Love to see it. Mad how we can be so awful, and just get new manager in 3 days work, and suddenly we're class. That seems to be the model. Why don't we just now get ahead of it, right? Fire Carrick now. Get someone else in on Wednesday. Beat Arsenal 2-0. Fire that person. Yeah.
It's like the coach every week, yeah.
The Man United guest coach. This week it's Jeremy Piven. But very good. Yeah, today's football was a stinker, unfortunately. Not a lot of goals. Although, I mean, interesting, this weekend, I don't remember the last time this happened. Top 4 teams all dropping points. This weekend.
Very nice.
Ooh, baby, United are going to win the league by attrition, it looks like. But that's basically all the news here, I think. Another long weekend. My second long weekend of the year. Because of my whole entitlements fiasco. So,
yeah.
oh, what a pain, all these long weekends. What's this coming up this week? Another long weekend, is it? Oh, good stuff. And then
they made good on it in the end.
Weekend because we have a bank holiday. They did. Yeah. So 2 long weekends. I've had 2 4-day weeks so far this year. Planning for another one until some meetings start up. I expected they would have started up by now, but they haven't. So very enjoyable. I keep thinking Saturday is Sunday, which is just the best feeling when you go, is it Sunday today? Oh, wait a minute. Tomorrow is Sunday. Oh, another day of holidays. Oh, baby. That's more or less it. Do we want to get to our features then?
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, let's go straight into our fantasy update.
Do I want to talk about the fantasy update? That's the question.
Fantasy update.
Cast your mind back 3 weeks. Let's play the clip. I'm Paul. For my number 9 pick, I choose what's sure to be a banger of a pick here. Going to bring in lots of points throughout the year. I pick Powerhouse Hobbs, please. Ooh, he's already left the company. Not even the end of January.
2 weeks. 2 weeks.
2 weeks.
Yeah.
So that's 2 years in a row. Last year, I picked Mariah May. I think it's my number 3.
That one was worse. I mean, you could maybe have thought she was leaving. I don't think anyone thought Hobbs was on his way out.
Hobbs feels out of nowhere.
Yeah.
No whispers.
Hobbs is a little bit out of nowhere.
I'm rated as well because I did suggest on our draft show a rule where you would be docked points if you had a jumper on your team. But I was outvoted on that one. The listeners just let the record show.
I think it's harsh enough if they, you have to do a transfer.
Make better picks, bitch. Read them tea leaves.
I was thinking one option is just fuck it, keep him on my team. You never know.
He might come back in September.
Okay, so last week I was fucking loving life, winning by a mile. 1 week in, polishing the trophy already. Doing the old. Anyway. Down to 3rd place this week. What happened? Powerhouse Hobbs is gone, so one of my lads has disappeared. Mercedes Monet says, I'm taking a break. See you later. And then because my fella leaves my team, they have to take the title off him, minus 5 points also. Mm-hmm. And then who wins the title? Lads exclusively on Barry and Joe's teams. What a week. What a week. So it is very tight. This is the thing. This is great, right? 3 weeks in, there's only 7 points between the 3 of us. Mm-hmm. It's very tight at the top.
Okay, good.
Currently, in 3rd place, formerly in 1st place, is Team Paul on 45 points. In 2nd place is Team Joe on 47, 2 points ahead of me. And then 5 points ahead of Joe is Team Barry on 52. So 45, 47, 52. Barry, of course, having Speedball Mike Bailey and Hangman Adam Page. Mm-hmm. Picking up a combined 28 points.
You son of a bitch.
Which is more than half your total points for the year. For just those 2 alone. And little Joe, of course, having Kevin Knight. Big boy. Bringing in 14 points for him. And I instead had Powerhouse Hobbs bring in a big old -4 points. Ooh, baby. Because this is the thing, obviously, this year you still get -5 for a title loss, but you get 1 point for a loss. So it brings it to -4 rather than -5. Barry, of course, also had Samoa Joe. So he also lost his title, unfortunately. Mm-hmm. But it does mean that Powerhouse Hobbs is likely going to end the year on -3. So spoiler, folks, for the draft and Fantasy League analysis in December. That's going to be the worst pick of the year.
That'll be a tough one to beat. Unless Samoa Joe's doing a new angle where he gets disqualified every single week for the rest of his life.
And of course, it means now that Hangman, Kevin Knight, Speedball are top of the table. El Clone in 4th, by the way. He's wrestled 4 times and he's won. He's wrestled 3 times and he's won all of his matches. Anyway, now we come to the first transfer of the year. Because, of course, I have to get rid of old hobbies.
You got to do it, yeah.
Hobby baby. So who do I bring in? I've been kind of going back and forth because I do feel like this 1 point for a loss does change. You know, you're not only going for people who are going to win a lot, but someone who wrestle a lot, where even if they don't necessarily win, you're picking up points. Or do I focus on someone who'll win the majority of their matches, but maybe also appear on pay-per-views and potentially also will be involved in tournaments like the Owen Hart and the C2 and stuff. So I'm looking at the list of wrestlers, and really there's 3 that I have in mind, and they are Andrade,
okay,
Jack Perry, and Kenny Omega.
Wow.
Those are the 3 names that I'm looking at currently. Andrade, I do feel like it's obvious from his first debut that they've brought him in to be involved. You know, I don't expect he's going to be someone who sparsely appears here and there, but maybe not right away. I think possibly as we get closer to Revolution, we might see more involvement from him. Jack Perry seems like a sneaky earner. He wouldn't be someone I would be necessarily drawn towards, but I would expect him to be a 40 match guy this year.
Yeah.
You know, I'd expect him to be heavily enough involved. The question is just, does Townie, like he did last year, get kind of, I don't say get bored with him, but you know what I mean? Like Jack Perry just kind of disappeared off TV for a while last year. The question of him being sufficiently over and involved now, especially now Luchasaurus is injured, does that mean that Jack Perry might kind of dwindle away? And then Omega is kind of more of a heart over brain pick, where he's obviously involved in the championship picture. In the mix, he's going to be wrestling Josh Alexander this week. But realistically, how much can he wrestle? Is he going to be a pick you bring in and he ends the year on like 11 matches? You know? Okay, I think I will go with... it's got to be Andrade or Jack Perry. Which one do I pull? Let's look at my team, just see who I have on the men's side. Fletcher, Bandito, Mark Briscoe, Brody King, Danny Garcia. I think I'm covered enough for guys. I think between Fletcher, Bandito, Briscoe, I think you've got like workhorses in there who are going to wrestle a lot. So I think I can sacrifice and pick someone who might not wrestle as frequently, but maybe will have a higher quality of like wins. Yeah. So I will trade officially, rubber stamp it, where's the gavel? Trade out Powerhouse Hobbs and trade in Andrade El Idolo.
Okay.
It's rubber stamp.
I think of those 2, I maybe would have gone Jack Perry, because Andrade is another guy that even when healthy, has these kind of mysterious, I'm not on TV for a couple of, not even the most recent one, but just in general, just kind of like, you know, floating in and out of TV. But I think you are also right. I mean, I think they could look, the Jack Perry stuff always loses steam eventually. I mean, you know, so I think the Andrade one is a perfectly good pick.
Yeah. So that's it. That's our fantasy update for the week.
We did not make it out of January without a trade, folks.
No, we didn't.
That is how we're going. Alrighty.
Unless before I do it, unless anybody wants to trade me for Powerhouse Hobbs, Joe, do you fancy Hobbs for Mox? Maybe
you've already rubber stamped it. You've already rubber stamped it.
I've got my own Omega now, so.
Okay, we do have a quiz as well. The return of the quiz. We haven't had a quiz since Joe's. I think since Joe's John Cena quiz. Was that the last one we did?
I think so. Yeah.
I don't recall. Anyway, it's catch as catchphrase, which, as you'll recall, is our mystery question game, where you're taking turns to pick one of the words from the question. In a sense, filling out the catchphrase board to try to find out, number one, try to figure out what the question is, and then to give the correct answer to that question. So I will do the old spin the wheel, make a deal to see who's going to go first here.
Okay.
Barry and Joe, and you're just going to take my word for it because I'm not going to share my screen because I am too lazy. So Barry, you're going to be up first here.
Okay.
And we're going to start with question number 1. And every question has 10 words. Okay, get your notepad files out.
Yeah. Okay.
Every question has 10 words, and you're each picking, first of all, one of the 10 words, and then you get a guess every time until somebody gets it correct. So Barry, you can choose a number between 1 and 10, please.
Okay. Let's go number 1.
Number 1, name.
Okay, I'm just making my notes here. Okay, name. Okay. Hook.
Hook is not the correct answer. Joe, pick a number.
5.
5, AEW.
Cody Rhodes.
It's not Cody Rhodes, I'm afraid. Barry.
AEW. So I'm still eating popcorn, everyone.
Popcorn.
Number 6.
World.
Maxwell Jacob Friedman.
Not correct. Joe.
7.
Tag. So I will clarify for you guys. I don't do this often, but I will clarify just that there's not a misunderstanding. 6 and 7, those words each have commas after them. Right. 6, 7. Oh, Barry's hitting us with the old gimmick.
Oh, folks. Okay, commas. Right, commas.
Hangman Adam Page.
Ooh, it's not the correct answer. Shit. Barry, back to you.
Okay, I think I might know the answer, but I'll go for my number here first. Can we 9?
Trios.
Yeah. Can I say Samoa Joseph?
It's not Samoa Joe.
Oh, what?
That's Samoa Joe.
Number 8.
And.
So that would be Kenneth Omega.
Not
No!
Kenneth Omega.
Wait.
All right. Barry, back to you.
Okay. 3.
Who?
Okay. So okay. Oh God. I have no idea. Moxley. I don't know. I know that's not right, but
It's not Moxley. Joe.
Sorry.
Well, 3 is what you was just picked.
Oh, sorry. What?
3 is who? We're missing 2, 4, and 10.
I heard that's 2. Number 2.
2. Everyone.
Oh. Hangman Page. Kenny Omega.
You can tell me when you're.
That's
when your
it.
answer is complete.
That's it.
That's the correct answer.
well done.
For the show.
Well done.
So the question was: name everyone who held AEW World Tag and Trios titles. So that's it.
Okay.
The 2 people who've held all 3 of those championships. Which I only realized when we started the game that World Tag and Trios could be misunderstood as just being the tag and trios. That's why I mentioned the commas. All right, Joe's up 1-0. Joe, you're up first here on question 2 as well.
Let's go number 5.
5. How? It's not Chief J Strongbow.
6. That's my answer.
6 is not the correct answer.
Okay.
Barry.
1.
While.
While. I no idea. No idea. Pass.
Pass. Joe, back to you.
6.
6. Manny.
7.
It's not 7.
6, 7.
6, 7.
2.
Active.
While active.
How many?
20.
Is not 20.
7.
7. Held.
While active.
How many held?
2.
Isn't 2. Barry. What number would you like?
4.
AEW.
While active, blank AEW, how many held?
Blank.
Okay, hang on. Okay, I'm going to try. I'm thinking. Okay, hang on. How many? 5.
He's got it. 5 is the correct answer.
Was it while active in AEW? How many held the international title?
Very clear. You got every word apart from one.
Okay, what was it?
It was how many held the FTW title.
Oh, the FTW. So I'm definitely wrong with that number
FTW.
for international, but that's funny.
Well, 5 is the. Do you know who the 5 FTW title holders were in AEW?
Hobbs.
Starks, Hook, Hobbs.
Not Hobbs. Not Hobbs.
Oh, Stark, Hook,
Starks, Hook,
Cage.
Jungle Boy.
Cage, Jungle Boy, and
CM Punk.
not CM Punk.
Oh.
This is
Tony
one that I didn't remember either, to be honest. When I was about to say I went to Chris Jericho is the correct answer. They are the 5. They are the 5 who held that title. So 5 is correct. So 1 point for Barry. Barry, you're up first here.
Okay. Let me go. I'm sticking with this strat. Let me go 1. I want to know the W word at the beginning here.
In.
All right, well, so all word of these questions very funny.
It's almost like something I do intentionally when I write.
42.
No.
8.
8. Nothing. The word nothing, I mean. Not just a blank void.
Hangman Page versus Will Ospreay.
It isn't, I'm afraid, but it's a good guess. Barry.
Okay, that was number 8, right?
8. Nothing.
Okay, number 2.
Which.
Okay, in which? Phoenix, Arizona?
It isn't. It's a good guess. You guys are honing in on what the question might be. Joe, over to you.
3.
Month.
Dang.
May.
He's got it. May's
Dang.
answer. 2 for Joe. So obviously, in which month is AEW Double or Nothing usually held? May is correct. I think it's Memorial Weekend to be specific.
Yeah.
May, especially. Okay, 2-1 to Joe. Joe, you're up first here.
1.
What?
What?
What? Wait, what?
What?
What? Stretcher match.
No, factually incorrect. Barry.
10.
Dynamite.
Willow Nightingale versus Mercedes Moné.
I'm afraid not. Joe.
4.
4. Maine.
Oh shit. Do I know it or do I just think I know it?
Well, you have to know it. Well,
I know, that's the problem. That is the problem here. Shit. Yeah.
We're gonna push it.
Chris Jericho versus your fella. God,
very confident answer here.
Wardlow.
It's not Chris Jericho versus Wardlow, I'm afraid. Barry, back to you.
Shit.
Number 8.
First.
Okay, yeah. So Joe is right in the ballpark more. Kenny Omega versus Pac.
No.
Dang.
Not Kenny Omega versus Pac. Joe, back to you.
So what number was Barry said?
8.
8.
First.
9.
Ever.
Fuck, was it a tag match?
Brother is struggling here. No.
I feel like it. Yeah. Well, look, we know what it is, right? It was the first main event of Dynamite. I think it was Jericho and Proud and Powerful.
Okay.
But I don't know who they wrestled. That's the thing.
Have a little guessy wessy at it.
They wrestled he was feuding with Mox. That's the thing that's throwing me off. But I don't think he wrestled Mox. I don't know. Who would have been in the main event? The Elite.
It was the Elite. That's correct.
Yeah.
Was it Bucks?
Bucks and Kenny.
Oh yeah.
Joe, you are ordered hereby to do your homework on your first ever Dynamite.
Well, I know the first one was Cody.
Half of the matches in
MJF versus Brandon Cutler. There you go. Cody versus Sammy was the first match.
Yeah.
And then Jake Hager debuted at the end, but I just can't remember the.
Yeah. Never complain about modern AEW again. That's my comment. Okay. And so Barry, all to play for here for you to get. Okay. Because I decree this last question is worth 100 points.
Oh, hell yeah. Okay. Number 3.
No, we're not doing that. Number 3, older. Older.
Nick Jackson.
It's not Nick Jackson. That's a great guess. It's not correct. Joe.
2.
Is.
Older is.
No, older was.
No, all the way around.
Oh, so
is number 2. Is older.
The Survivor Series. Oh, these are just AEW or are these WWE as well?
Can be anything.
It can be anything. All right. Okay.
It's not the Survivor Series. Right.
Are you sure?
It's not what I've written down.
Oh, fair
it also doesn't make any sense if it were.
Oh, fair enough then.
Barry.
5.
5 of.
Awesome. Chris Jericho.
No. Joe, back to you.
6.
John.
John Cena.
It's not John Cena, I'm afraid. No.
Shit.
Barry.
4.
Out. Still Barry's.
Still mine,
yeah.
John Moxley.
It's not John Moxley. Joe.
10.
Cassidy.
Orange Cassidy.
Is correct. No. The question was, very simple. Who is older out of John Moxley and Orange Cassidy? Orange Cassidy is older than John Moxley by a year.
He's an old fart.
He's born in 1984. So be careful, Joe. Accused of being an old fart.
He's surprisingly young for a, an
Iron fella. So that's our quiz for this week. Joe is our winner by 4 points to 1.
Well done, Perez.
Well done, Joe.
Good quiz. Thanks, Paul.
GG.
Thank you as always, Paul, for that. That was good fun. Let us jump straight into our reviews, and you know what? Let's kick things off with the news of the week, and let's talk TNA. Now, I did not get around to watching this. I'll probably watch some of it on stream on Wednesday. But
God, yeah.
Fast forward button in tow. But Joe, I mean, what was the vibe? What was the vibe?
Wow. So I haven't watched Impact probably in 10 years, right? Honestly.
Right, of course, yeah.
I think the last time I saw it was probably live when I went to Wembley Arena. That might have been the last time I actually watched Impact, apart from maybe when Kenny was the champion and I watched a bit of that. Mm-hmm. But I was kind of intrigued. Obviously, I had no interest in watching Impact normally. Mm-hmm. But kind of 3 reasons. I thought with the move to AMC, I was kind of, one, intrigued as to whether they would kind of change up the product now they were moving to a real network. I was kind of interested in whether they could pull any like rabbits out of the hat in terms of signings or just big, unexpected things. And thirdly, I was kind of interested voyeuristically if WWE were going to be to what extent they might be involved in helping them put on a good show to try and harm AEW. The answer to all 3 of those was no. I certainly don't think WWE was involved in this. They certainly did not pull any rabbits out of the hat, not live ones anyway. And if you had asked me to kind of describe what an average episode of Impact would have been like in the last year, this is pretty much what I would have expected. Right. I which is obviously something I would never watch. So I would say in terms of production, it was not great. They did have a decent crowd. It was like 2,500. Pretty good crowd. Dynamite kind of level crowd, really.
Very good.
Problem was they kind of did what AEW were doing a couple of years ago when they were in a 7,000 seat arena with only one half full, which creates a very strange kind of lopsided atmosphere. So as good as it is to have that crowd, it came across worse than like the old Disney tapings where at least you were
the impact zone. The actual impact zone.
The actual impact zone where you could kind of, the crowd were there and you could really control like the lighting and everything. Like, that was just really bad direction, lighting, music and everything. It just looked, rinky dink. It was just very bad.
Yeah, that's interesting because I think back to watching those old, I mean, this is the thing, right? We make fun of TNA and obviously we being AEW fans have a kind of standoffish thing to. I was a huge TNA fan.
Yeah,
from 04 to 07, 8, I want to say.
Yeah.
That was my thing. The funny thing is watching back, as much of a point of contention it is now, I never watched TNA. I was never watching AJ Styles, Samoa Joe and Chris Daniels tearing the house down and going, look at the fucking size of that crowd.
Yeah.
It looked grand. It was fine.
Looking back, I looked at because someone posted like a clip of, I think it's from like 2013 or 2012, and like compared this to this show. And watching that back, I was like, fuck, actually, yeah, that looks quite good. It didn't look any worse than like a Collision nowadays, would look.
Right.
It actually looked decent.
Obviously it was, but...
but the direction and the lighting... and
it never that sparse.
Made it look like a big show. And especially the lighting, like... This show looked like Barry does now, to be honest. Like, they had one of his £15 lamps on.
Yeah.
So that was bad. Like, I won't go through every segment, but generally, like, first of all, there was no real WWE presence on this apart from AJ Styles doing little bro promos about, wow, TNA, this is a great star and blah, blah, all this stuff. No, worthless. And he was already on the show, I think, a month ago doing this. So, yeah, like, who cares? The crowd loved him, to be fair. He got a great reaction, but it was pointless. Other than that, like, the actual wrestling, the Hardys match, I wouldn't say it was bad, but it was kind of just, average. It was there. It was just there. It was fine. It wasn't terrible. and then the God, I keep forgetting their name. I just said it like half an hour ago. The Righteous came out and did the most contrived, like, oh, we're going to help you up. We're going to help you up, Hardy Boys. Come on, get off the mat. We're going to help you up. Oh, no, we turn on you, bro. But he was like the worst example of that. Absolutely awful. The women's tag match was kind of a bizarre throwback because if you bear in mind, like since AEW launched, I have literally watched nothing but AEW and Japan. I've not watched a single episode of anything outside of AEW in Japan since, it launched. And I think I've just gotten so used to that style of wrestling that watching this women's tag match was just like, it was like watching something from the 70s. It was just so, like, they weren't botching or mistiming so much, a couple of bits, but like, it was just so slow and deliberate and just lacking in any kind of action or anything, really. It was just nothing to it. It was just like first day of your first week working in wrestling kind of stuff. It was just so unbelievable. This is what we used to watch when we started this show. This was what, like, watching Impact or even SmackDown. I feel like this is what you'd watch. And I'm just so, like, not used to that anymore. The main event I quite enjoyed. I thought it was a perfectly good match. That was Kaz versus Santana. That was solid. It wasn't like a great match, but if that was on like the middle of Collision, you'd be like, oh yeah, that was pretty good match. But that was it on the wrestling. And then outside of that, they were just some horrendous production. All of these like influencers are ringside, obviously, no idea who they were.
No idea who they were.
They put them on the empty side of the arena, and the only thing that was well lit in this arena was the empty fucking seats. Because when they did this shot, you just see like 25 rows of empty seats behind them, and it's like, oh, why have you done that? And it's like just awful stuff. I mean, they had Perez Hilton on this thing. I mean, with his 4 retweets and his 9 likes for the post about him being on the show, and it's like, who's he a friend of? I mean, it's terrible. They had the comedic authority figure in Santino. I couldn't believe when he came out. I was like, I mean, I know he's been on the show. I didn't realize he was still around, but oh my God, I'm just like 2026 and I'm watching Santino on a television show. And he comes out and he does the GM stuff. Then they bring out Sonya Deville. She's the big debut, by the way, Sonya Deville.
The big guest.
She was literally and there was Cora Jade and Sonya Deville were the 2 debuts. And she was obviously the bigger star, I would say. She comes out and does a promo and then immediately turns on Santino and does a heel GM thing. And I'm just like, fucking hell. This is like, even if they'd had a big name as the heel GM, like I still don't want to see it. Like, it's still just abysmal.
A heel and a face GM. Oh my God.
Really bad.
Oh my God.
15 minutes later, Santino, so her whole thing is, I'm going to replace you. This place needs, taking care of. We need a real authority. We need to whip this locker room into shape. 20 minutes later, Santino comes out and he's making a match, like, with the rest. I'm like, hang on. I thought she was replacing him. What's going on? It makes no sense. They had this segment with the System, which, do you know this faction? It's the big...
No. Moose and Eddie Edwards.
The 4 horsemen of...
Whoa, sign me up, brother.
I'm just looking at these guys and thinking, I mean, I don't dislike any of them. Good luck to them, but fucking this is like this is not in the D team. This is like real bottom of the barrel. And the whole big thing is Fandango's apparently retired. He retired yesterday at Genesis.
Yeah.
And I'm thinking, and he's talking like he's Terry Funk. Honestly, it's like, I'm going to give you... No, it was like when Arn Anderson retired from the Horsemen and he gave his spot to Kurt Hennig. It was like that. That was the kind of promo. I'm like, for Johnny Curtis, really? Oh my good God. So that was bad. I just felt bad. Carlos Silva comes out. This is the first time I've ever seen this guy on TV. What a fucking goon this guy is.
If you want to see more of him, you should watch any show they do. He's
a real stooge. A real stooge. He was awful.
How is he compared to Tony Khan?
Far worse than Tony.
Worse than Tony Khan? Oh, because I've never seen Carlos Silva. I don't know.
Yeah, I mean, completely. Like, Tony usually has a stage fright, but this guy is just so insincere. Like, it's wearing this ridiculous TNA hat that looks fake. I don't know what that's about. He always has this fake looking bootleg hat on.
Hold it outside the Thrill Arena before a house.
he brings out Dixie Carter, who gets booed out of the building. Poor old Dixie. I don't know who these fans are that are like booing Dixie. I think there's certain like TNA fans who are like, I don't know when they think the glory days of TNA were. Maybe they're thinking back to like, because they came in straight away, Dixie and Panda Energy. They came in 2003.
All the good stuff was under them. Love her, you know.
This is the idea that Dixie ruined TNA, and I mean, I know she's annoying and she did a lot of stupid shit, but like, what's the nostalgia for if it's not for Dixie's era? Like,
you know, she was bankrolling the Samoa Joe, AJ Styles, Chris Daniels days. Do you know what I mean? Mm-hmm. Like, you know, I don't know if it's people associate. Do people now think of her as like the authority figure she was on TV, or I don't know. I don't
know. The Perez Hilton segment it was this elegance brand. This is new gimmick that's it's Mr. Elegance, who's kind of doing like a model narcissist gimmick kind of what's his name, the NXT guy, Tyler Breeze, or
Rick
the Model might say. It was fine, but no one knew who this guy was. He was just a complete new face, and so that was a bit of a disappointment.
This would have been a pathetic cameo to rope in back when Perez Hilton was like super relevant, like that. It still would have been a terrible thing. No wrestling fan wants to see.
It's the exact person TNA would have brought in 2005.
You're so right, because they brought in like the like less famous Jersey Shore people. And
Adam Pac-Man Jones.
Like, who's the famous bad match with Booker T's wife? That was with like some girl off Survivor.
Mariska.
Yeah.
Mariska.
Like, I mean, for as much as people rightly complained about Raw with Bob Barker, and also at least Bob Barker was a fucking household name. TNA, any fucking wanker who was ever on an E show for 2 episodes, they would give probably $500,000 to come in and do the worst segment you've ever seen in your life.
Oh God, so
God.
It's interesting bringing in Dixie is like. And also, from what you're saying, Joe, the kind of run through of the show was reminiscing about how class TNA used to be.
Well, that's the other thing. They had these video packages running, which I think the idea was to try and introduce the brand maybe to new viewers. Yeah. So they had one about like the Knockouts division, the X division, and then one about the former world champions. And it was kind of good, but it was also like, well, none of this exists now. That's the only problem. Like, you're telling us like how great TNA has been, but none of these people are here. You don't really have an X division because Leon Slater is in England wrestling, and you
wrestle on SmackDown. And
you've lost everyone else. You don't really have any knockouts. You've just signed Cora Jade and Sonya Deville. Like, it's kind of telling people how great you are, but you're not showing any of it on the actual show. You know what I mean? It's like
that's the baffling thing is they had the pay-per-view 2 days later, and most of the people that I saw being on the pay-per-view who were on the pay-per-view, most people I would recognize weren't on the TV show.
No, like Ziggler, you think he would be...
Ziggler, they did a post-show angle with Ziggler.
Which was, I don't know if they ran out of time, because why would you know? He's the biggest star outside of the Hardys. He'd be the most recognizable person. He wasn't anywhere to be seen.
And you'd kind of like, because WWE's had these shows in the past, right, where travel has gone completely awry because of weather and stuff like that. And so they have to just throw people out there and have slightly longer matches and stuff like that. Mm-hmm. Like, first of all TNA's problems, as we said at the news segment, all their own fault for not signing people and stuff like that. But also, it sounds like this show was also an indictment of their ability to think on the fly. Would you not just say as much as we would scoff at it and however many years past this prime movie, with half your talent gone and half the card having to be thrown out, would you not say to your Dolph Ziggler, you and fucking pick another half decent wrestler from the company? You guys are going to go out there and you're going to do 20 minutes and you're going to do your best to tear the roof off. It doesn't matter what the current storyline is. The show is completely on its arse. Yeah. And instead they had him come out after the show was off air. I mean, so he was there, really bizarre.
I mean, that's the thing though, is that Matt Hardy has been saying, TNA needs to not be about 5-star matches. It needs to be about telling stories. So I'm not sarcastically saying what a fucking idiot, but kind of I am. But also, maybe that's just not their brand. They maybe they want to get across that this isn't that kind of show, and so when we watch it, that's what we want. We obviously don't get that out of it.
But also the stories and the comedy, it's all really low rent. Like, it's like the stuff Vince would have booked. Like the stuff that you like, bad comedy and like silly characters. And the final thing for me on this, the announce was horrendous. Worst announce team I've ever heard on a wrestling show.
I like Tom Hannafin. I despise
the English. I don't know who the other guy is. Is that who? Is that
former
him?
Aiden English? Yeah.
I thought.
Yeah, the artist formerly known as Aiden English. Yeah.
I thought they were just like glib and unconvincing and just.
I think Hannafin's better than the guys WWE have these days.
Well, I don't watch that. I won't watch that.
Damning with vapor.
I'll watch Impact. I'm not going to lower myself till I done. I've got some standards. So anyway, this was pretty bad.
Poor.
Pretty bad experience. Yeah.
I mean, that's the thing. Is that you only get one debut show.
One go at this. Absolutely. Absolutely.
For all accounts, by all accounts, the pay-per-view was pretty good.
Yeah.
Well, maybe compared to this. Yeah.
Yeah.
But I mean, it's just, I don't know. And funny, but as we've said about AEW at various points over the last 2 years when they've gone very sports entertainment heavy, like if TNA's thing is, we don't want to be the work rate company, we want to be sports entertainment. It's like, okay, there's already an audience being super served with that content. WWE has 6 hours of television. They do it, I was going to say, doing it the best would be the wrong phrase to use. They do it the most. They have the fakest, most plastic, most disingenuous, most badly acted, hammy soap opera-y wrestling ever. You will never out shit comedy them. You will never out camp them. You will never out bad acting them. It's obviously is what we would rather see. But I would even say from like a marketing standpoint, if I was starting a wrestling company that somehow got a TV deal this day, I'd be like, right, I'd be kicking the door into the men's locker room and say, lads, you're all getting the black trunks on and the black boots, and I'm shaving every cunt's head in this locker room, and you're going out there and you're exchanging some fucking half Boston crabs because this show is going to be some fucking wrestling.
I've seen people make the point that TNA as a brand should really focus itself on like young wrestlers and should be kind of the bridge between the indies and WWE, or the indies and AEW, or presumably WWE. But get those guys in, because I mean, you've seen this year already, AEW have signed a load of two new guys this week from whatever show MJF was working, Alec Price and the other fella.
Jordan Oliver.
Jordan Oliver. WWE is apparently making a new. They're not hiring football or
no more volleyball players.
Turns out they're shite. Who saw that one coming? So they're apparently going to be focusing on more young indie talent again. What the fuck is TNA waiting for? Like, that surely is, you can get guys in cheap, you can build them up, and then when they move on, you another notch for you to say, this is a guy, he's from TNA, you know, we built him, and sell to other new guys, look, come into us, we'll build you up, and then you can move on. Like, what does it serve them to be bringing in fucking, you know, bringing Dixie Carter back or bringing AJ Styles in for a 2-minute promo? You know what I mean? Like, from a branding point of view, what does that serve them exactly? I know that putting AJ Styles on the marquee maybe gets viewers in the door, but I just think TNA doing a lot of, you know, looking at the past and look how good TNA was, as opposed to video packages introducing the people who are there currently and getting them built up. Yeah, I don't know. That's not how I would have done it. Especially because, you know, one thing I was thinking about yesterday was, you know, just mentioned how big of a TNA fan I was. AEW, to me, in 2026 fills that need from what I used to get from TNA more than TNA does.
TNA does, yeah, absolutely, yeah.
Because TNA very much was the workhorse company, because we had, you know, TNA and WWE back then. You look at all the names. I remember coming across a random video on pre-YouTube Google Video back in the day. AJ Styles, Petey Williams, Chris Sabin. I think it was the Ultimate X match. I was like, I've never fucking seen anything like this, and that kind of got me into that style. You know, obviously a generation before would talk about the WCW cruiserweights in the same way. Well, you would think that would be what a TNA would be, if they're going to spend so much time reliving the past, keeping up those core values and so on and so forth. Bring Jarrett back, maybe put the world title on him. But I don't know what, as you say, they just seem to be selling the same product WWE does, but with far fewer stars, worse production values. That's a hard sell, which is crazy that you have, and again, fair dues to them, the hardcore TNA fans who, I don't know why they wouldn't just watch WWE. It's the same product, but with stars and production value up the wazoo. And, what do you get from TNA that you don't get from WWE? I don't really know, apart from, again, we've talked about it before, and maybe there's an element of this to us watching AEW, but a part of I want to stick my flag to the alternative and not just watch the McDonald's, the Coca-Cola, but watch, something a little bit more on the periphery. So anyway, any other TNA thoughts?
Well, see him in 10 years. When they're on Mr. Beast's YouTube channel.
They fucking wish, buddy. Let me tell you.
That'd be much bigger.
Oh, God.
They'll be on the Barry Lad YouTube channel.
That's right.
ChairShot.tv.
I pay very well. Alrighty. We've got our AEW reviews this week to get to. Maximum Carnage. This week for Phoenix, Arizona. Which was a fun episode of Dynamite. I did not get to Collision in the end, but Dynamite was good fun. Darby Allin defeated Pac, so fulfilling his big thing of finally wanting to defeat him. This was a great pay-per-view worthy match, I thought.
Yes.
They wrapped up their story quite well. I mean, the big finish of the match was Darby with the ref distracted, doing the coffin drop onto Pac's injured leg, so beating him and presumably writing him off for a while. So, fully vengeanced Darby is, and I would have to imagine this is kind of like Darby getting his vengeance on the Death Riders. I think is kind of the last lingering thread of everything pre-Moxley turning face. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
So now I think we're going to either turn the whole unit face, which I feel like we might do now.
We saw an element of that in Collision.
It's kind of feeling less like they're going to have Moxley split away and more like maybe they're just going to turn them. I don't know how that's going to work. But as you say, there's little inklings there. But match itself was awesome. Darby took the absolutely psychotic belly-to-belly overhead onto the jagged edges of the step. I mean,
one of the worst things I've ever seen. I've seen people break their legs and stuff.
Yeah.
And I would rather go back and watch Dante Martin's leg facing the wrong way off the Penta Destroyer at that Ring of Honor show than watch that Darby spot again.
Yeah.
I mean, do we need to be the nagging mammies again and say, Darby, look, it's going to come off very, very anti-fun because I love Darby's matches. I love this match. But is there an element of, if you're doing this in a normal, standard one-on-one match on a Dynamite, what does that do for, what makes street fights special? If you're doing this kind of spot in a standard match, should you do this kind of stuff when it's a street fight or when it's a no-holds-barred match or and then should you do that on a pay-per-view rather than on a random Dynamite? I'm sure Darby could give a shite, but
yeah.
If you're going to kill yourself, fucking kill yourself in a match where it's appropriate.
Yeah. And it is funny coming a week after, I kind of thought that Lights Out match was really tame and kind of didn't really deliver. And then,
it's backwards, though.
Yeah, a regular singles match, you do that, one of the nastiest spots you'll ever see in your life. But yeah. So a good bell-to-bell action, though, on that one. And so, that a little bow put on that story.
Yeah. Yeah, and he did Pillmanize Pac's leg, although Pac was then on Collision with not showing any, he wasn't on crutches or anything. So
that's disappointing. That's
a bit of a missed.
Yeah,
sell the gimmick.
That is one of my cornetisms of modern wrestling is that Pillmanizing means nothing anymore. I mean, They do that every not just AEW. To be fair, that is a way overdone spot.
So I was thinking when it happened, will Barry need to make a little trade here? Is Pat going away for a while, as he tends to do? Then he was just on. Now, fair enough. It was in the backstage where he was just sitting. You couldn't see his legs or anything, but he just stood up and walked. It seemed like.
Yeah. Yeah. It's a shame. We had he came up in conversation earlier. We had the kind of low key return of Big Bill and Brian Keith here on this week's show. Been a couple of weeks since we'd seen him. Joe put a bounty out on Adam Page, and that is, of course, Brian Keith's gimmick. So he took him up on it.
Yeah.
Fun little match here. Not anything super special, but good back and forth. I like Brian Keith.
He looked good.
He looked good, yeah. There was some chicanery here, wasn't there? Bill grabbed Page's leg, and Swerve came out to make the save.
Correct.
So after that, you had your Hangman promo, kind of just reiterating where they all are, with this kind of like uneasy alliance between. Well, this was not even uneasy. They're kind of making it clear that they would fight each other for the title if they had to, but they are fairly on the same page. Yeah. Talking about coming for MJF. Out came Kenneth Omega.
You know how Kenny Omega is in the world title mix? Because he didn't come out in his jammy top, with his basketball shorts on and his flip flops.
No, he just did not come out with his little candle in the candle holder and the floppy cap and the baggy striped clothes from A Christmas Carol. Who goes there? No, he came out looking quite good, I have to say, and his promo was also really good as well. So there was a classic bit of a little bit of Kenny's always been that kind of when I need to be on, I'll be on type guys. So he was interrupted by Callis, of course. Josh Alexander was there. To cut to the chase, they did the tease of having the match this week, and then everyone cheered, and then Don Callis said no, so next week. So after the recent reporting on kind of his transition more to a trios role and his body, blah blah, we're getting Kenny versus Josh next week, and I am fascinated by that because Alexander is the definition of the great solid hand who could have a good match or with the right guy, and I'd say Kenny Omega is the right guy. If Kenny's on and Kenny's healthy, could have an excellent match with him. I think Josh Alexander is great. So I think this will be an interesting examination of where Kenny is in 2026.
What's the over-under on Kenny trying the fireman's carry into the roll flip into the moonsault that he's not been able to do the last couple
I think he'll do it because I still have an inkling in my head that Kenny, being one of those kinds of wrestlers, could have been doing that badly on purpose. He could have also just been doing it badly. I'm not saying he's definitely fucking it up on purpose, but he's that kind of guy. He is that kind of guy.
I love Danielson pretending to be injured this whole last year as well to sell.
What a worker. What a fucking worker. So yeah, there we go. So that match will be fun. Brody King doing another standby match with Jonathan Cruz. I hope Jonathan Cruz becomes a fixture of MJF's act. I think we didn't talk very much about the segment last week. I thought it was really good. He's great. He's funny. I think he also walks the line quite well where I feel like people won't cheer him. Do you know what I mean? I think people like seeing him beat up because he's a little bit wormy and a little bit annoying. So Brody beat him up. This was good stuff.
Two great sells. Or bumps, whatever you want to call them. One,
yes,
he tried like a shoulder block on Brody Lee or like a crossbody and just bounced off him. It's very funny. And then Brody hit him with a chop and he sold it like a tree being fell.
Stiff as a board, yeah.
Stiff as a board. Very, very funny. I tell you what, he can come out with all the Mexican lads. I'll approve that.
Yeah, well, they need someone in that role now. But I think him and MJF is a good fit. 4-way tag match. This is kind of my gripe of the week was in this little bubble here. First of all, I mean, just it's another just plopping 4 lads in a match and the winner gets a title shot. I'm over that. I'm completely Bucks, Jet Speed, Davison Doyle, and GOA. To be honest, when they announced this match, I was like, oh my God. Are they doing the Young Bucks and FTR again? I was like, fuck. But thankfully they did go with the most interesting option here, and they went Davis and Doyle. Pinning Jet Speed. The finish was Doyle powerbombing Speedball out of the ring onto a pile of the other men. And then Davis hit his like pop-up pile driver thing, which was cool on Kevin Knight. Good match, good all action. You know, the Bucks in there doing their babyface all action Buck stuff. It was good fun. Liked it quite a bit.
There are a few bits where it was a little overly choreographed.
Yeah. You know,
as these matches with
these matches are,
can be,
you know.
But it was good. I liked, I think Jeff Doyle, what's the name? Jake Doyle, yeah. I don't know if I was blown away. I thought he was solid. Great reversal at the very end into the powerbomb of Speedball, where Speedball went for like a diving Hurricane Rana, and he like rolled through it all weird in a way that I've never seen before, I don't think.
Yeah.
But him and Davis just did a lot of like posing. You know, I think Mark Davis is great. So I'll reserve judgment to see a bit more of Jake Doyle. But
yeah, I like them. My early impressions were, again, kind of tough in a match like this, like you were saying, a little bit over choreographed, and you didn't. Again, you know, in a more ranking focused company, I would have liked this title match to be preceded by like 3 weeks of Davis and Doyle smashing. I'm not even saying beating established teams, that would be nice, but I would have accept 3 weeks of them obliterating locals, you know, power bombing them fucking through the ring, you know, and just killing them. Not only to build them up as a team, but yeah, give Doyle a bit more spotlight than one of 8 men in this tag match. We got a segment then later on just to tie it all in here with my grievances. Renee goes up to Top Flight. No, fucking Christ, Barry. Renee goes up to Jet Speed. That's the team she went up. That was the speed / flight themed team she went up to. And she went, Jesus Christ, boys, a lot of losses this year. You fucking stink. What's going on there? What's up with that? And then Swerve comes up and gives them the most patronizing, you guys will be okay, future of the business, pat on the back. And then Hangman comes up and says, I'm challenging for the trios titles and you jabronis are coming with me. I just made that match right now. Complete shite.
Speedball was like a Make-A-Wish child who was like, for real?
Dreadful shite. I mean, absolutely. I mean, pin Nick Jackson if on the exact same taping where this match has happened, you're going to have Jet Speed win titles. Pin one of the Bucks in that match. Why would you have to? And then do a segment where the interviewer asks them about why they're having such a bad year.
That's why it was also very top flighty. Hey, you're just a real fucking geeks, aren't you?
Yeah. The thing of babyface mid-carders in this company is just being, golly gosh, I lose all the time, but I'll get there eventually. That is a problem.
Also, do they not have a trios team that could win the trios titles? Like Hangman and Jet Speed? On Collision, they were like, well, folks, actually, these 3 teamed 6 months ago.
Yes, they did it on this show as well. They played a video package of their team together in September.
Sorry, Tony, you remember, but that doesn't count. Do they have a trios team who could win the trios titles here? I mean,
well, so, you know, not this justifies it, but so they were doing, it was like Hangman said, I'll take everything from Joe. So that was why it had to be him. But to that end, it was like,
Hangman could just come out and cost them the belts.
He cost them the belts. He could, but also he could team with 2 people who didn't just lose. You could have done this a million different ways. You could have had fucking Hanger and Swerve and a third guy, a baby, a random Kenny, and yeah, that would have been fine. Like you know, anything else, but just like having, I don't know, so.
But and flow. I mean, you mentioned Skyflight. Look, Skyflight rubbish. Don't get me wrong.
yeah.
But there is a team in need of a little bump, in need of a little legitimacy. Fucking have them win the trios titles. Like, all Hangman Jet Speed winning says to me is, number one, your fantasy team's fucked. And number two, these titles are going to be defended for another month and a half now.
I mean, these titles are one of the flops in this company's history. They are one of the flops in this company's history.
It's just a Kenny and the Bucks sort of ego thing, wasn't it? Like, let's do trios titles.
But then they have trios guys who they never use. And when they use them, they never win the titles. And the trials are always held up.
No, lads, because don't worry. The Rascals have arrived to save the trios division.
Oh, wow.
They have...
Let me take a big hit on my lawn.
Oh,
trios titles, baby.
Oh, I think the trios titles are going to be booked really well this year. Oh, what is the shit in this doobie I'm smoking, fellas? I'm on the moon right now.
Very smoked snow weed. The return of the...
God. Yeah, I mean, they have a roster full of like mid-card guys begging for TV time and stuff to do. It doesn't have to be the fucking C2 levels of intricate booking. They could do fun stuff with these titles, and they have never, like you said, post the Elite winning them, they've never given a shite. They're thrown on. It's kind of like what it is now, when it was with Joe, which is it's just like an accessory for a guy who's being pushed in a different capacity. Yeah. You know what I mean? The Death Riders have it. They're not having class matches every week on Collision. They have them just because they're doing an angle where they're dominating everyone. You know, it's crap. If it went away tomorrow, you wouldn't care. And you know, I'm not really pissed off about the 800 titles in the company as a lot of other people are, because I think, you know, it's fine to have a couple of different titles for people to fight for. But when people make the point that they add them just to add them, when you look at the trios ones, it's hard to argue against that, because they haven't put their thinking cap on to do anything meaningful with them. But anyway, the aforementioned Skyflight had a terrible segment. I mean, straight out of Raw or SmackDown, just staring into the camera, delivering this awful wooden fake dialogue that no one would ever say ever. It was Daniels talks with them as well, which is so weird, because it's not like him after the Hangman stuff, just being back as an on-screen manager for this second half of Rampage ass team is such a weird tonal thing to do. So yeah, they face Kyle Fletcher, El Clon, and Josh Alexander. Fire up your betting app of choice, Americans, and stake the old mortgage on the Kyle Fletcher team there, and not the Ring of Honor All Stars. We had Triangle of Madness defeating Stat and the Babes of Wrath. Not much.
Stat and the Babes of Wrath with the trios titles there.
Yeah, that would have been good.
Sorted.
Not much to this one. Pretty straightforward match, but notable because Tekla beat.
Statlander pushed Willow out of the way, took the spear and lost.
So I wonder if we are. So it's almost certain they're going to go for Revolution. They're going to do Tekla.
I don't have to wait till Revolution. I mean, that's 2 months away still. I think they're
you're right. Yeah, probably they have a Grand Slam. They have Australia. Are they doing Australia? Aren't they?
Australia. Yeah, that's what it'll be.
That makes more sense. Interesting. I feel like they've really been taking their time with Tekla, and kind of making us watch the other two too much. Some might argue. I'm very interested in that result, because it doesn't feel like they're quite ready to push Tekla yet, but at the same time, it doesn't really feel like the stat thing is really working at all. But we'll see. It's probably too soon to put the title straight on Tekla, but we'll see. And then the main event. The show was built around MJF defeated Bandito in a very good match. Again, another match on this show. 2 matches on this show that you could just easily see being like on a pay-per-view and of pay-per-view quality. Which is
Bandito came out in the first ever in wrestling history cool cosplay.
What was it supposed to be? But I didn't know what it was.
I don't know, but it was class.
Who?
Bandito.
Are you sure it was cosplay? And just him being like, I have a sword.
He looked cool. He had an outfit on.
Yeah, he looked cool. He did look cool. And you know what? Maybe it actually helps to not know what it was, because if I find out, it's like, folks, Excalibur's, it's the type of thing he would say. Straight out of Fire Emblem, it's Bandito. Oh my god, that makes it less cool. Yes, they had a great match. Bandito does always, and MJF as well, typically delivers in the spot. Lots of great near falls. A really interesting finish and post-match. They said, F you, John Cena. This is what a real babyface is like. They had Bandito pass out in the label lock. Not the Salt of the Earth, his usual finish.
Yeah.
So those of you who are looking at your prediction game slates and thinking maybe we'll see Bryan Danielson wrestle this year, that was interesting. That was an interesting.
It was interesting, and Danielson himself calling it that's the label lock.
Yeah. So that was interesting. So yeah, Bandito passes out, does not tap out. I think it's really obvious that they see a lot in Bandito.
Yes.
Do they see him eventually maybe not on this run, but do they see him beating MJF somewhere down the line, maybe in a non-title capacity to kind of like, maybe cement him as a top guy? But really good match, and I think he did endear himself well. MJF got on the microphone afterwards, and this was kind of interesting. This was not the exact thing you would expect MJF to do. He got on the microphone and said that Bandito was as good as everyone said he was, and everyone expects him to be a world champion one day. And I got to be honest, they're right, as much as it pains me to say that. And then he said, which means ultimately I have to do this. And so he gets up, he starts beating the shit out of Bandito with the world title, and feigns ripping his mask off, which of course everyone boos. And then Brody King comes out and runs him off. And no turn. Yes, I do. You always assume that in because it's wrestling. You always assume that, but
it being AEW, I should have thought 6 months until that'll happen.
Yes, yeah, yeah. I liked MJF. Just not saying, getting on the mic and doing typical MJF stuff. This is a little bit different. This is a little bit of a different direction for him, kind of giving him the begrudging respect, and also not laying it on too thick, because I don't want him to raise Bandito's hand or anything. That would be a weird thing for his character to do. But trying to write him off because he feels like he's threatened by him, I thought was a cool direction. So
I liked it.
Good show, and nice building. I thought the Phoenix building was nice. How was College?
College was okay. Andrade El Idolo, the newest member of Team Paul, defeated Angelico, of course, as you would expect. He did his WWE finisher, which is interesting. I wonder if we'll keep using that. Solid match. Want to get, this is the thing though, again with Tony Khan a little bit. Why debut Andrade again if you don't have something for him? And I'm not saying he doesn't, but he comes back and then a week later he's in a match with Angelico and Collision. That's his only thing of note for the week. Like, surely if you've got something for this guy to do. We then had the Rascals, which interestingly, we only had 3 of them. An update has since come out as we're taping this show. Trey Miguel posted to Instagram stories stating he is taking a break from wrestling. He says, taking a break from wrestling, please respect my space and don't tag me in any posts or comments. Go support the Rascals still. So he's the one, as you recall, who didn't join WWE when the Rascals did.
Yes, yeah.
The previous time as well.
He's an interesting guy. I think he's really good. But
yeah.
It seems to, he's had his ups and downs. This literally just as we are speaking right now, Sean Rossap just posted this. He has been released from his AEW contract.
Oh, yes.
So that's just happening right now. So is that a case of he wants time off? And he said, look, I'm just not going to be willing. And they said, okay, respectful part ways. So he had signed, apparently. So he had literally just signed and now he's out of it. Or am I putting the cart before the horse? Was he released for something? And then he's going on Instagram saying, I'm taking some time off. We don't know. I don't know. Nobody knows. He has said he's taking time off from wrestling, and Fightful have confirmed he does not. He has been released from his contract. So that is, maybe this time next week we will have a new story on this, but we will see. So the Rascals is, so you got Zachary Wentz,
Desmond Xavier,
and Myron Reed. Yeah, okay. Anyway, we were talking about Collision. So anyway, Lexi was going backstage, and I assumed they were sitting around drinking water and just getting ready for their match, just relaxing, just having some energy drinks.
I'm not sure, Barry.
Wait a minute.
They're in a sauna.
Well, smart me, Lexi. Whoo, little crack a window maybe or something in here.
We knew this. This was the Rascals gimmick, right? They're 40-year-olds who smoke weed. Class.
I didn't know that, to be honest. I've never seen these guys. I've heard of them, but I've never seen them.
They are very good. They are very good. But this was...
I was kind of excited until I found out about the weed gimmick, and then I was like,
more
so now I'm kind of, in my mind, they're like a top flight or private party, but
no, they're much better.
But they're kind of
they're better. But I would say that will be their slot. I would say that would be their slot.
I think a version of them.
Yeah,
basically.
I think Myron.
This wasn't a great promo, even with the whole.
No.
I mean, look, I'm not a huge fan of people who's like, to be honest, smoking weed is like their whole identity. I think weed should be legal. Don't get me wrong. I don't partake, but
that's the thing. Now it is in America. It's kind of like,
to be still doing this
tobacco. yeah.
That's the thing I always say with alcohol versus weed, right? No one smokes weed and then goes home and beats their wife. Do you know what I mean? If you want to smoke weed, go smoke weed. Go smoke weed.
I suppose you can have like people drinking as a thing, like Stone Cold or Hangman earlier. You could have drinking alcohol as a gimmick. So maybe like smoking weed can be a gimmick. I don't know.
Yeah, but then the thing is, it's their entire being is that they smoke weed. And I know people like this. I know people in real life who all they talk about is how much weed they smoke. On Twitter, hey, I'm smoking a big weed. I'm smoking such a weed, guys.
Bloody hell.
Which kind of inherently turns me off. And also, I don't like the smell of it, to be honest. I think it stinks. I would rather someone blow cigarette smoke directly into my face than weed, please. But I think the problem for me is that they then came out and cut this fucking awful promo. That was really terrible. But hey, let's get him in the ring. Let's get him in the ring at least. That's unfortunate about Trey Miguel. That whole deal.
It's a shame. We'll see.
Grizzled young veterans. Speaking of teams that come in and underwhelm. God, I want these guys to catch on so much, but obviously, someone in power doesn't see what we see.
No, I guess not.
I think these guys are great. I would have them. I would have had them in that 4-way match, to be honest. I think they're better than GOA. I think GOA have had a good few weeks, but I'm not crazy on GOA. I think Grizzly Young Veterans should have been in there. Eddie Kingston and Ortiz. Ortiz first match in 2 years.
Yep.
Whatever.
Definitely was. Yeah.
It was Eddie Kingston. It's like he's sabotaging his own career for some reason, or someone is doing it for him. I know the thing is Eddie Kingston and Ortiz are real life, but I know Ortiz was, for all intents and purposes, integral in Eddie Kingston's recovery and return to wrestling off his knee injury. So I'm sure there's an element of Eddie Kingston's coming back and he feels like he wants to reach down and pull Ortiz up with him as sort of thanks for everything he did. But what ends up happening is Eddie Kingston is like losing cash every time cachet, not money. He's losing stock.
No, absolutely.
Every time I see him, he's less and less important, which is such a shame because Eddie Kingston is so much potential in storyline terms. And I don't know what Eddie Kingston and Ortiz have going for them, but I will throw in a late prediction. This is obviously an unofficial prediction. This team will never appear on a Dynamite.
That is a great prediction.
Not a high ceiling to this team, I'm afraid. What do you do? Fucking Ortiz turns on him, and then Eddie beats him, and you never see Ortiz again. I don't know. I would love to be proved wrong. because I like Eddie Kingston a lot. I don't even mind Ortiz. I like Ortiz a lot, but this is not a presentation that's going to shoot him to the top. Little FTR promo, nothing much to it. Zeta Steel debut versus Marina Shafir. Love Marina Shafir. Fuck, maybe I should have drafted Marina Shafir. I already have Megan Bain. I don't need both of them.
Yeah.
I like Marina Shafir's presentation a lot. She beats Zeta Steel here. They also announced that the Crew, remember them, Leo Rush and Action Andrade.
I did not remember that.
Action Andretti and Lacey Lane. She is now with them. They are going to have a match with the Rascals. I would imagine that would be on this coming Collision. Don Callis family versus Skyflight. Barry, you called it. The Kyle Fletcher team went over.
The mortgage is in.
I have a note here as well, and I have scoured the internet, and I have not seen it anywhere picking up on this that I have. You watch Collision, Joe, this week, did you?
No.
Only me. Okay. Well, you guys are going to need to do some homework since you haven't watched it. I'm not sure if there's a legitimate reason why, so I'm not like having a go here. But Darius Martin looks like he's put on about 40 pounds, which I don't understand, because last time, I mean, I noticed this in the previous match he had, that he's got a lot bigger than he used to be.
Fat or muscle?
Fat. But I'm not saying he's just a big fatso now, but he's certainly heavier than because he and Dante Martin used to be in very similar shape.
Yeah.
Darius is much heavier than him now. But yeah, hopefully Darius Martin is okay. This isn't like some injury he's had where he's getting weight out or whatever. But it was weird where I suddenly kind of clicked. Hang on a second. Well, what's different about him? Did he change his gear? And I was like, oh, he's like way heavier than he used to be. Takeshita came out after the match and walked past Don Callis and gave Kyle Fletcher a big embrace. So I wonder if they're playing up a little bit the those two guys on one side, Okada and Callis. Maybe there's no Okada.
Yeah,
of course.
Yeah.
Roderick Strong is going to be against Claudio Castagnoli on next week's collision for the CMLL heavyweight title.
Okay. Mm-hmm. I've enjoyed their last few
Mark
matches.
Briscoe. Yeah, and Mark Briscoe has challenged El Klon for next week's collision as well for the TNT title.
That'd be fun.
Since Klon has won a few back-to-back. Yeah. Megan Bain and Penelope Ford, that team's back. Defeated Viva Van and Danielle Camella, the former NXT Vanessa Bourne. And of course they won. And Marina Shafir came out after and was kind of irked at Megan Bain teaming with Penelope Ford again. Kind of a, what the fuck is this? Who's this bitch? And then Tony Storm and Mina Shirakawa came out. Tony Storm looking like $1 million dues. My God.
Yeah.
What a woman. And cut a very fun promo, and we're getting Megan Benet. It's just the French version. Megan Benet and Penelope Ford versus Timeless Love Bombs. I think on Dynamite this week, as well as Swerve Strickland, Kevin Knight. So that's Team Joe versus Team Joe, and Team Paul versus Team Paul in that women's match. Jungle Jack Perry, beat Anthony Bowens for a shot at Ricochet's national title. Who saw that one coming? Death Riders, as we said, appeared in a backstage and addressed the Don Callis family. Don Callis family actually attacked Mox on the show as well. There's a whole schmoz. So they are doing Don Callis family. Not the real good guys, though. It's Rocky Romero, Lance Archer, and... Rocky Romero, Lance Archer, and who's the other one they have in the match? I don't remember. One of the other geeks, Utah maybe, against no, Utah's in the Death Riders. What am I talking about? Who is it? It's do they have it written down here anywhere? No. They're doing a Don Callis family versus it's Mox, Utah, and Danny Garcia. I don't know if it's Josh Alexander. Some the geeks of that team. I would say Hechicero. And then main event Ops obviously lost to Jet Speed. Rest in peace, Powerhouse.
Yeah,
up there in heaven. So that was it.
Alrighty, that was Collige. That's our. Is that Collige?
That is Collige.
Not Collige. Okay. And that's our wrestling reviews for the week. But we got a lot of other reviews to get to.
Loads.
We got loads. I have not yet seen the new 28 Years Later. Which of you boys have seen it?
I've seen it.
Oh, you both seen it? Okay, give me the news.
Paul. So I was saying Paul. I'm saying it next week.
Did you both see the previous one? Both seen?
Yes, and I liked it.
Okay. Well, I'm happy to report the quality of this movie. I think is pretty consistent with that one, but also in slightly different ways. So I think to dumb it down very simply, I thought 28 Years Later, the previous Danny Boyle movie, was a 8 out of 10 movie, but then I hated the ending, and the ending kind of very slightly pulled it down to like a 7.5, let's say. I think this one is like a 7 out of 10 movie that has a 10 out of 10 scene in it that kind of pushes it up to a 7.5 or an 8. So I don't think they're a million miles apart, all in all. So follows on from the end of the previous movie. It's much more focused on the Ray Fiennes character and the Jack O'Connell character who was introduced at the end of the previous movie.
Right.
The Spike, the kid who was more or less the protagonist of the previous movie, takes much more of a backseat in this one, and is much more kind of a side character to observe the kind of craziness that's going on. But it's much more about Jack O'Connell's Jimmy gang and how they find themselves in the world, and Ray Fiennes' Dr. Ian, who's continuing his investigation into the infected, and specifically the Alpha Samson, who were introduced in the previous movie. So like I say, there's some great stuff in here. It is not as action heavy as the other movies are. It's very light on, I would say very light on zombie action, actually.
Okay.
There's maybe 3 very, very short scenes where people are being chased by zombies, but very little at all. If you were to say, 28 Days Later and 28 Years Later are zombie movies, this one is far less action, more on the horror side, I would say, and more on the classic drama side almost.
Okay.
There are some funny moments, some moments of comedy, but they don't necessarily undercut the tone of the movie overall. There's one outstanding scene towards the end. If you have seen it, you know what I'm talking about. If you're going to see it, you will know the scene I'm talking about. And if you're not sure, yes, I am talking about that scene. That's just unbelievable. Ray Fiennes is as you might expect, excellent in the movie. Jack O'Connell has a fun time and is a fun character. But I think Ray Fiennes steals the show here. And I'm almost, knowing what we know about the third film of this trilogy, I am interested to see how they will tie it into the events of these first two. Because the film does not necessarily, almost in, maybe in retrospect, this will not be a good comparison, but almost in Last Jedi terms, there's not exactly a very clear thread of what has been set up throughout these first two movies to what the third movie is going to be. Like 28 Years Later, there is and I guess this is the new thing, a pre-credits scene. So the movie, like 28 Years Later, the movie goes for 95% of the time, and then there is a short scene that seemingly has very little to do with what came before. There is one of those scenes again, but it, like 28 Years Later, it doesn't really seem to be connected to the rest of the movie. You have this whole movie and then this weird scene at the end. I will say this scene I found far less aggressively annoying as I did the first time around. But by that token, if you really like that final scene in the previous movie, you might find this one a little bit less exciting or less interesting. It's kind of a blander scene, I'd say. But overall, enjoyable, very enjoyable time. Like I say, worth seeing for the Ray 5 performance alone, and for that incredible scene, which you guys will see when you get a chance to see the movie. And It's hard. I don't want to give too much away, but if I was to say, like, we all enjoyed Sinners here, right?
Right.
There's that one scene in Sinners. I would say this is of that ilk. There's a scene that you'll go, fucking cinema, throw your hands back. This is great. So I will give 28 Years Later, The Bone Temple a thumbs up. I will say, if gun to head, I probably enjoyed the Danny Boyle one slightly more. I think Danny Boyle's distinct kind of visual style is not quite as well captured by Nia DaCosta, who obviously did the Candyman remake that I think, Barry, you and I quite enjoyed. I don't remember if you saw it. I'm going to assume you did.
Wait, which one?
The Candyman.
Yes, yeah, I really liked it. Yeah.
I really liked it as well. So she directed this. But Danny Boyle has, I think, a better eye for the kind of pacing of the movie as well as how it looks. This one is a little bit. It's still very good. Little more generic. More generic, but very good movie. I give it a solid 8. But like I say, it's kind of a 7 elevated to an 8 by virtue of how much I enjoyed that one little scene. So that is it for me.
Alrighty. I saw some films. I saw a recent one and an old one. Just before this pod, I watched K-pop Demon Hunters, which is
I'm probably going to have to watch that one when the Oscar list comes out.
One of I think maybe the biggest film Netflix has ever made, or something along those lines. One of their biggest films they've ever made. Or maybe
I think they anticipated it was gonna be, because there was very little.
It kind of just arrived. It was not a big pushed thing. I mean, it's Sony made it. I suppose I should say it was a Netflix exclusive, but it was a Sony Animation thing. It's not. It doesn't exactly look this way, but it has a really unique, very stylized look that is kind of Spider-Verse-esque. It's obviously not doing any kind of comic book thing, but it's got a very unique look. It looks like, like that movie, it kind of looks like Bleeding Edge animation-wise, right? It's very, it's one of the hooks about it. Yeah. It didn't get a big push, and I don't know if they anticipated it being as big a hit as it was, because typically when you're making things like that, even if it is, focusing on a subgenre of entertainment from across the world, they crowbar in a white guy that people know, Scarlett Johansson, fucking Seth Rogen, just get someone on the voice cast. So obviously they've got K-pop singers playing the principal characters, but unless I'm mistaken, I didn't reckon there's not even like a shoehorned in recognizable American on the cast. You know what I mean? So it really kind of feels like I don't think they anticipated this being as big as it was, but it was fun. It's can I shock you, everyone? I do think it's primarily aimed at children. If I can just say that it is. I think primarily aimed at that. It's as the name kind of implies. There's a K-pop band. They're like the biggest band in the world. The opening scene is them playing a stadium full of like 50,000 people, and they are secretly demon hunters in their spare time. They throw together some kind of cute lore about how the demon hunters throughout history have all been like singers, because they use music to like unify people, which suppresses the demons, as well as just fighting them with swords. It looks great. The music is very catchy. I'm not a K-pop guy, but the soundtrack is very good. I imagine I will give it a listen as the weeks tick by. It's solid. I don't think beyond the style of it and the music of it, I don't think it'll leave any kind of like massive impression on you. But I thought it was a perfectly watchable 90 minutes of family animation. Worth a look. And you're going to be hearing a lot more about it, because yes, it went on to become this absolute. I mean, the name is catchy, and it probably achieved the exact thing people pitching it wanted to do, which is the name is great, and K-pop is huge with kids, and so that is if your kid is scrolling on Netflix, they probably want to watch it. The title. There you go. There's thumbs up on that one. Also a thumbs up on The Dirties, which Paul has talked about on the pod before. One of the sort of Matt Johnson backlog films I wanted to watch before Nirvana, the band, the show, the movie, which is finally releasing next month.
Crazy reviews.
People raving about it who saw it at festivals and things like that.
People haven't seen the show raving.
Yeah, so it feels like it's going to be one of It's going to be one of those ones that, I mean, we're just sitting here kind of hoping it gets some semblance of a release over here, lest it becomes one of those things where we're just listening to people on the other side of the world prattle on about it for 6 months before we have to watch it online, you know. But yeah, I did go back and watch, I believe, Matt Johnson's first, his debut directorial effort, I believe so. And it's funny because so it in the first act, at least, it's like very recognizably a kind of a Matt Johnson thing. It's kind of a fly on the wall faux mockumentary. Johnson plays a kind of a version of himself with his buddy, and they're two kind of losers who are very creative, who are making a fun little art project. And hilarity ensues from their like shit student film they're making. That's kind of the early premise. They are two kind of losers who are bullied, and they're making a movie about taking revenge upon their high school bullies. As the film goes on, they get kind of continually tormented over the process of making it. And Johnson starts talking about actually going to their school and actually enacting revenge on the bullies, and the movie kind of goes from there. It is a very weird genre meld. That first act feels like there's a little bit of intrigue early on, but I do feel like it's quite funny. It is very Nirvana the band, the show. He's writing on a whiteboard. They're filming stupid movie parodies. I mean, it's very. There's a lot of DNA of that.
There's a Jay McCarroll cameo in there.
There's a Jay McCarroll cameo in it as well. It's there's some chuckles to be had. Like, it is good. And then there is a little bit of a twist
where they make the film and show the teacher.
They show the teacher, and
the edited version.
It's got a lot of that same style of humor. And then they do kind of twist it around the halfway point, and it becomes this entirely other thing. A little bit of creeping dread to it, a little bit of you don't quite know which way it's going to go. And I think for a debut film, and a film that obviously seems like it was not made with a lot of money, very ambitious.
Budget, I believe.
Did you say 1?
10.
Oh, 10. At 10,000, God, 1 would have been even more impressive. $10,000 budget. I mean, it's very, very ambitious. It's going for a lot of lofty ideas that I thought were quite impressive for what it is. I mean, it's you know, the friend character, Owen. They're both kind of, you know, your typical losers, right? They're your typical downtrodden, beat upon by the bullies, ignored by everyone else type of thing. As the film kind of progresses, you kind of see like his buddy Owen is kind of working his way out of it, and there's some interesting kind of themes about, like, you know, kind of where you're slotted in your life, and if that's just where you are, can you work your way out? You put yourself in these boxes. Is it, you know, things like that. It's going for quite a lot of that stuff, and I thought it hits a lot of it really well. Really great. I mean, really, really great for a micro budget debut film. I really, really enjoyed it. So I have to watch Project Avalanche. That's the other thing of his I haven't seen.
Yeah.
So I'll probably try and squeeze that in before.
That's a good one as well.
The Nirvana movie kicks off. Yeah, thumbs up on the Dirties.
I'm probably going to rewatch the series. I mean, you've watched the series a lot more recently than me, but I'm probably going to rewatch the series before the movie comes out as well.
I think that would be a good idea. I think I probably will as well. There's also not that much of it as well. You can rip through it so quick, you know.
Yeah, I got my hands on the version of the series that doesn't have the censored by Viceland stickers on it. So a nice little finally uncensored version.
You know, because it was briefly on Channel 4 on demand, which was probably a nice pristine copy.
And it was that version.
That's where it came. Yeah, right. So I'll probably give that show a watch. Yeah, those are my 2 movies this week.
All right, Joe.
I got 4 movies for you. I got some big auteur.
You got 3 that I need to watch.
Yeah, you got some heavy hitters.
I'm on some auteur shit right now, okay? First up, we got Train Dreams.
I really want to see this.
It'd probably be under the radar, but yes, it's a period drama starring Joel Edgerton and Felicity Jones. It kind of follows the life of Joel Edgerton's character, who's sort of born in the late 1800s, and then spends the kind of his early life working on like the railroad as that was being built across America. And so it's very, you know, he's just hard life. But then he meets Felicity Jones, who he marries, and they have a happy life. And then something happens in the film which kind of throws things off. And then it's really about him kind of almost being like a man out of time. Like he feels like he's sort of left in that earlier world. You know, he's in log cabins and railroads and things. And as the world is, you know, you're getting to the First World War, Second World War, and things are changing in the world, modernizing. He's kind of feels quite left behind. So it's really a kind of character study of this man, but a very kind of quiet film. Nothing sort of overly showy about it, but just really, really kind of an actor's film. His performances, it's sort of small moments, but yeah, really, really enjoyable. Quite melancholy, but just a very nicely told story of a kind of lost era. So it was very good. I would definitely recommend checking that one out if you get the chance. Speaking of biographies, we had another one. Went to the cinema on Monday to see Hamnet, starring Paul Mescal and Jessie Buckley as big old Bill Shakespeare, the man himself, the bard,
the real Big Bill
Shakespeare. So this tells a kind of fictionalized version of the life of Shakespeare and his wife. I think it was called Anne, or in this film, she's called Agnes. It's a very fictionalized version of their life and of their children, which I didn't really know too much about going in. But yeah, it really focuses on their kind of home life and I like this, rather than focusing on it being William Shakespeare. Like it is very much just, here's a kind of very idealistic young man who lives in the kind of, backwaters of England in the 1500s, and is a very kind of shy, aspiring playwright who meets this kind of very, interesting, kind of slightly wild woman that he falls in love with, and then they have kids. And it kind of tells a story. It's more about the family. It's about the Shakespeare family and about the relationship with their children. And really, I think ultimately the theme is kind of about being a parent and how that changes your life completely, and how you suddenly become, or at least you have a kind of fork in the road of like your life being just completely about your children, or whether you go down another path. So really, really nice, and a really kind of a really interesting final act, which starts to incorporate more of sort of Shakespeare's his work and themes. So yeah, I thought really good performances, especially from Jessie Buckley. It's kind of her film in a way. Like Paul Mescal's very understated in a way that I think he is. That's what he's good at, right? That's why I didn't really like him in Gladiator, because he was kind of doing the Maximus thing, and it's like that's not Mescal. He's not not that kind of actor. He's much more, I think, understated and a little bit enigmatic, and he plays that in this, and he's very, very good. But it's kind of more her movie. She gets the showy role. He's kind of the understated one. But yeah, it was very nice. And I'm a sucker for anything that shows that kind of English countryside, and it's sort of trees, and it's a bit witchy, and we're burning herbs because it's the 1500s. And, still got all those like that hangover from pre-Anglo-Saxon stuff. So yeah, very good. I would absolutely recommend Hamnet. It's a it's a sad movie as well, kind of similar to Train Dreams, but really, really good. Speaking of bloody great performances again, also went to the cinema to see Sentimental Value.
Okay.
The new Stellan Skarsgård film, where he's the lead actor anyway. Also stars Renate, can't remember her surname, from The Worst Person You Know.
Okay, yeah. Very,
very tall Norwegian lady. And also Elle Fanning as a kind of an American actress. So essentially it's about this I'm saying it's not really a main character. It kind of switches between characters quite loosely in terms of who the protagonist is. So you never really feel like you're following one character. It kind of deftly moves between all of them. So Renate's character is an actress, but she's clearly struggling with her, career and mental health. Her dad is a very kind of renowned European director who hasn't done a film for a long time. But it's kind of one of these great, European directors from the 70s, 80s, 90s. He comes back into her life with a screenplay that he wants her to be in. She says no. He then meets Rachel Kemp, played by Elle Fanning, and wants to do the movie with her. And so it really kind of centers around like their family home, where he and the wife who's died and the two kids kind of grew up. But it's really about the memories of this house and how that kind of affects them, and him coming to do, this movie at house as well. So it's really interesting. It's not. It's a bit different from the last two I described. It's not quite as sad and miserable as those.
Right.
It's a bit more of a straightforward drama. It's a lot of kind of moments of lightness, a lot more sort of human and just a realistic drama, right? You can really relate to these people and the sort of complicated relationships within the family and the sort of, memories and the different interpretations you have of what happened, maybe when you're a kid and the kids see it one way, the parents saw it another way. And really. And also I think, kids not recognizing the trauma that their parents went through, thinking, well, you put me through all this shit, not realizing that the parents were so going through fucking horrible shit as well, which you don't appreciate necessarily as a child.
Yes.
Yeah, again, another good movie that's really kind of performances, quite quiet and just very, very well directed and very relatable. So enjoyed that as well. So check that one out. Definitely. All three of those are definitely worth checking out.
Jeez, yeah, you've had a great couple of days at the cinema.
Oh, January's are blessed. You get all the Oscar movies, all the hangover from last year. Finally watched the latest Spike Lee Denzel Washington movie as well. Highest to lowest. So it's an A24 Spike Lee joint. This was on Apple TV. This was a fun one. It felt like a very 90s movie. And I say that both as like a compliment and also a bit of a criticism. Like it kind of felt like one of those sort of middle range films that they don't make anymore, where it's not a really artsy movie, but it's also not a big blockbuster movie. It's kind of somewhere in the middle. It's got like artistic kind of credibility, but it's also quite broad that anyone could kind of watch it and know what's going on, if you know what I mean. I think Denzel's good, but he's kind of doing like Denzel as he does now. You know what I mean? It's certain actors get to a point. They get to a point where they just play themselves. They're not doing they're not acting anymore. They're just kind of doing that. But that said, he is very good in it. He plays a media mogul whose son is apparently kidnapped and held for ransom, and then it's a case of what they do about that. But at the same time, it's also about his kind of legacy in music. Like he's this real world famous music mogul. So it kind of follows that, and it's about sort of him, him putting his sort of status as that first versus his family and where his life, what path he's going to go down. It has a lot of really nicely kind of creatively done elements as you'd expect from Spike Lee, which kind of made it a bit more interesting. But it also in some ways does feel quite dated, and that's why I say it feels like a 90s film. Like there's just some things you think, I don't know if that's really kind of pushing things forward or if it's relying on sort of old tropes that would have been more maybe back in the 2000s even. But generally, like, enjoyable enough film, maybe worth a watch if you want to throw something on. But I wouldn't say put it at the top of your list. But yeah, pretty decent film.
Yes.
That's a good week, and I'll probably see Bone Temple next week.
Bone Temple.
I got to see how the wife was at the cinema tonight. I have to ask how her experience was. If everyone was well behaved, I'll go see Bone Temple. If they weren't, I'll wait.
What's she saying? Barry doesn't know.
Sydney Sweeney and Amanda Seyfried, housemaid.
Housemaid.
Yeah, I don't know. They were having a girls' night. I was like, going away. Yeah, I feel like highest to lowest just kind of came and went, but I suppose that is the Apple thing, isn't it? I mean, it's just like they still don't have that kind of penetration, But yeah, those are the movies for the week. Bit of telly. Someone on the run sheet has Jackass on the run sheet. I'm going to assume that was Paul.
Oh, hell yeah, it was Paul.
It's so funny because I also started watching Jackass again this week.
Yeah. There's
start from the start?
Movie coming out in the summer. I started from the start.
Yeah.
Jackass season 1.
Yeah. So they announced another movie. So we'll be seated for that. I got up to just before this pod. I got up to the poo poo platter episode. Which I did not really enjoy. A lot of shit and puking in that episode, more so than people falling down. So that was not my favorite. But where are you at?
There's a kind of sausage in it. I'm at the end of season 2.
Oh wow! Okay, so you ripped it.
I'm watching. It's so easy to watch. I watch 2 episodes a night. Well, they've announced a new Jackass movie, so I said, let me grab these seasons, because Jackass is one of the shows. As I knock my
Paul just got jumped from behind us.
that was my little Jackass stunt, knocking over the mic. Jackass is one of those shows where they've never actually released the show in its full anywhere. Which is good, because I mean, watching the actual series as it aired, there are a lot of needle drops. There's a lot of very recognizable songs.
Yes.
90% of the soundtrack is CKY songs, which I knew CKY was around and was important. I didn't realize every second fucking thing is CKY music to it, which is nice. But yeah, it's very good. I also have the box set they released, which again was not a comprehensive episode list. It was like a best of. Like I said, they've never properly released. So luckily someone has up on one of them damn web search. Someone put up the episodes and I was able to obtain them. So I'm watching those now. Like I say, I'm on season 2, and so I'm pretty much I'll be done with that whole show by, I don't know, handful of days. I'm also watching the old CKY videos.
Sorry,
chuckling away there.
Is that no? Go on, you go on.
I'm also watching the CKY videos, the movies.
Oh, I've never seen them. I have never seen them,
which are very good. Very good. I mean, last time I did a Jackass rewatch, I even watched the Big Brother movies. That's fucking terrible. That's unwatchable. So don't be tempted. As someone who loves Jackass and kind of try to be a completionist, those Big Brother movies are fucking shite. The CKY ones are very, very fun. Very, very fun. I would recommend those. They're like not even an hour long each, so you can very easily fit them into
there's something about Jackass that, like, and I think we saw it in the ensuing 20 years post to the success of Jackass. It walks a very fine line where it could be the worst, most annoying thing you've ever watched in your life, but there's something about the crew and the way they do things that works in a way that so many other things don't, you know.
Yeah. On other TV news, Alien Earth, continuing that.
Oh yeah, you started that ages ago, didn't you?
I did. I'm not getting through it quickly because
I wonder why.
It's rough. Although I saw it was in a variety list of, or I forget which website it was. Someone put out a list of, maybe it was The Guardian, something like that. Top 50 shows of the year. Of course, Rehearsal at number 6, I think it was. Number 5, Alien Earth. It's like having at number six, a lovely medium rare ribeye tomahawk, and at number 5, diarrhea in a bowl. Now, to be fair, I just watched episode 5 of Alien Earth, so there's 3 remaining, and it was, to be fair, very good. It was by far the best episode, and interestingly, it was the one episode that didn't have most of the main characters in it, so maybe that's part of the problem. But episode 5, very, very, very good. Also continuing to watch Fallout. Are we all on the Fallout?
Still have not gotten around to season 2. We got to start that soon, because I really like Fallout.
I will say also, last episode, very, very good. Dare I say, the best of the series so far.
Very good.
That would have also been episode 5, I want to say. Really good, because I feel like Fallout at times can be a little too goofy, and I don't mind a little bit for the show.
Yeah,
but I would like Fallout, kind of similar to the games. I would like Fallout to be like 70% serious to 30% goofy.
Mm-hmm.
I do feel lately, especially towards the start of season 2, I feel like it's 30% serious to 70% goofy, and I would like to recalibrate that a little bit. But this last episode was very good. This last episode was very, very good, I do have to say. So that's all I've been watching. Jackass every night.
Alrighty.
What else do you want to watch?
I wrapped up I Love LA, which I talked about at the end of last year, I should say.
Yes,
and I was pretty soft on it early on, the first 2 episodes, and I came around a bit more around the middle. I think by the time it wrapped up, I think I would say overall I enjoyed it, and I'll probably follow season 2. It takes a while to get going. It is not a knee slapper, you know, to that degree. I think it's funny enough to keep me interested, and I think the characters kind of end up in some interesting enough places by the end of season 1, and it's a not massively cliffhangery, but I'm kind of like, all right, I'm interested to see where you go on season 2. I'll follow along. But yeah, enjoyable enough. Again, I think you would have to be in the market for that genre of kind of isn't modern life shit and everyone's annoying and everyone on that damn phone all the time. You know, and everyone's smiling in your face, and you know, you could make the show about New York, you make the show about London. You know, isn't everyone in this big city rushing everywhere and they're an arsehole to you behind your back and smiling to you? You know, it's one of them.
Is that how it is in London, Joe?
Yeah. Yeah. Paul, don't listen. Barry, one also. What a knob.
It's also very and I'm certain this is by design because it's, you know, it's a Rachel Sennett directed and written show, very young cast, it's very intentionally Gen Z language in it. It's
6'7",
not quite, but not too far off. I mean, at one point, Sennett's character is in hospital, and I don't think either of you two will get this reference, but the listeners might know what I'm saying. And one of the characters runs up to her and goes, "Oh, my Shayla." Do either of you know what that is? My Shayla. This is a viral TikTok sound. Its origins are kind of quite a little bit upsetting. It's like Tyrese Gibson. He was like crying on Instagram Live like a couple of years ago about some custody battle for his daughter or something, and her name is Shayla or something, and it became a TikTok sound for like my little dear, my little sweetheart, my Shayla, and so they say that they talk. You know, when there's an attractive person, they say, "Oh, I'm meeting fine shit later." But the girls all call each other bro. No, but it's a lot. I'll tell you what it is. It's a lot of that is so cunt. Descriptive word positive, right? Not you are a cunt. It's
yeah.
But also we've moved past serving. I don't think people say you serve cunt anymore. It's just it is cunt. That outfit is so cunt positive. Yeah, it's
okay.
I think I would make it 5 seconds into the show.
I don't think either of you would like it really at all.
Moments that come down my ears.
No. Because I think it is sneering at these people as well. It is a very self-aware, but not enough. Well, I don't think it's doing it enough for you guys to enjoy it.
I'm not cunt enough for that.
No, you're not. You're not cunt enough for it, unfortunately. But yeah, it's enjoyable enough. I enjoyed that. Only 8 episodes, 20 minutes an episode as well, so it's not gobbling up too much of the time.
Easy.
I didn't get around to the pit yet. Season 2, episode 2 of the pit. I've not yet gotten around to it. But Joe, are you caught up?
Yeah. On the pit. We're pitted up. It's good. It's pretty gross. This gross.
I don't know. Getting in hot, jumping in right off the bat.
Do you like knobs?
I do.
I don't like knobs.
That's good. Oh, plenty of that.
Someone's knob gets stuck in someone's eye hole or something.
Yeah. This is the thing. What's happening to the knob is the problem. I'm kind of thinking.
Yeah.
I'll have to wait.
Look, I've heard the show is really, really great, but when I hear about the grossness, I am like thinking, is it like gratuitously, like are they coming up with excuses to have gross stuff on it?
No, it's kind of realistic medical stuff.
Okay.
And they don't linger on it. I mean, that's not really a big part of it. It's just that when they show it, it's very realistic and very like there.
Doctor.
It's not all the time.
Yeah. And I would also say that like there was only maybe 2 or 3 shots in the entire first season where I was like, oh God, because most of them are kind of like, it's just people coming in with a cut or you know, it's like they've got a nasty gash on their arm. There's a couple throughout the season we're like, oh, okay, that is uniquely grotesque, but I say it doesn't linger on it. And again, one of them was kind of played for comedy. There was a character you see for a brief moment that has a fork stuck in their nose. Because they were roughhousing with their brother while eating takeout. And anyway, I don't think you would be repulsed watching it all. I would say really? it is quite realistic. The effects are very good, but most of it is kind of like perfectly within the realm of most other medical things you probably would have seen. I would say maybe 1 or 2 or 3 times in the entire season, I was like, okay, that's a uniquely gross thing.
So it's basically Scrubs, is what you're telling me.
Kind of, yeah. A little bit more intense, but
does Noah Weil go eagle at any point?
He doesn't.
With his black friend.
Someone else might, maybe not in season 1, but maybe in season 2. But yeah,
a lad comes in with an eagle up his hole.
Up his hole. Oh God, give me 50 cc's of anti-eagle juice. Oh God. That's it for the telly. What about the games this week? You're still plugging away on Outer Worlds 2, Paul?
Finished it.
Oh, you finished it? Okay, yeah. How long is it?
Yeah. It took me 25 hours.
Okay, so not gargantuan. That's all right.
No.
Just make it.
My Game Pass runs out tomorrow, so I was like, right, clear the calendar. We're beating this game today. Doesn't matter how long it takes. So yeah, 25 hours all in all. Very good. Very good. I think I definitely prefer it to Avowed.
Okay.
But I would give it a year because, especially at the beginning, it felt very too close to Avowed. That feeling really wanes even after the first 2 hours. That feeling of it being very close to Avowed dissipates.
Okay.
You don't need to worry about that. It also doesn't kind of start to lag towards the end. I felt like the last 2-3 hours of Avowed really became a bit of a slog. This one keeps the pace up right up until the end. So I felt like, unlike with Avowed where I finished it, I was like, oh, thank God, finally.
Right.
This one I finished. I was like, oh, I missed that game now. Very, very fun. I think it doesn't quite scratch the itch of the exploration of a Fallout or a Skyrim. It's much better in other ways, but I think it doesn't fail as spectacularly as Starfield, which had, for all intents and purposes, no exploration. This has the 5 or 6 biomes that you're in, which are still big enough for you to go from place to place, but it doesn't have, because the biomes are small enough, it doesn't have that, well, I'm walking that direction, that's where my quest is, I'm going to see what I find. And on the way you go, oh, there's a little cave here, and you go in and you're in that cave for an hour killing stuff and looting, and you go, oh, that was a great little adventure. It still doesn't have that, so you still lack that like I say, that itch isn't scratched. But everything else that it does do, I would say it does better, or just as good, if not better, than your Fallouts or your Elder Scrolls. Story, like I say, I found the story more engaging than Avowed. I think the gunplay is a step up from Avowed's more melee-based,
focus,
which again I preferred. So yeah, I mean, I would give it a good strong thumbs up across the board. Again, I like that kind of RPG. Not really an RPG, but that kind of game that doesn't take 150 hours to beat.
Yeah.
25. And while I didn't 100% it, I was doing the bulk of the side quests and companion quests and tasks and faction quests. Basically everything that came across the slate that wasn't like collect 900 of these things. Everything else I was doing before I close out the game. And I think it was 24 and a half. So it's not a crazy amount. Great looking game. I will say as well, what it does, again, aped from Bethesda's games, has a great little soundtrack. You in the game, you have a little radio you can turn on, and there's 3 different channels, and you can play little songs, and they're really catchy, real earworms. Got a great little soundtrack. The gunplay is satisfying and feels cool. I didn't even use the VATS equivalent, the slow down juice.
Oh, they have a version of that.
It has that. I felt the gunplay was strong enough that I didn't really rely on that very much, if at all, hardly. And also it's constantly giving you enough ammo and stuff, so you're never like, you can find a gun that you're into, and you can like slightly iterate on it, of course. But once you find your way of playing, you can. Like, you're not going to be like, oh, I've no more ammo, I have to switch over to this other gun I don't like.
Right.
Like, I ended the game with a rocket launcher with like 800 rockets.
Okay.
So I was playing this game very stealthy. So I was like, had all my stealth buffs where I'm like, do 900% damage and nobody can ever see me. And I'm just sneaking, and there's these big like mechs coming out, and just fucking plowing them with rockets, and they die in 2 kills. Easy, but like very satisfying and very fun. So I will give it a big thumbo uppo. And now I haven't started yet, but next I'll be on Ghost of Yotei.
Oh, I've been thinking a lot about Ghost of Yotei lately. Because I'm still on my kind of like, I've been thinking about what I'll play next. I'm still playing Cyberpunk. I logged about 10 more hours on it this week, and I'm kind of thinking, The next thing I do, I probably want to do smaller, not open world, like, you know, maybe a little platformer or something. But yeah, I really want to play Ghost of Yotei, but I don't know if I'm gonna get to it this month. But the only other thing I'm playing is, because I'm streaming it, I'm playing Bully, the PS2 classic, the Rockstar, back when they used to make more than one game every 10 years. You know, GTA in a school setting, effectively, the way. I assume you've never played it, Paul, because you were never a GTA guy.
No. I never had a PS2.
You never had a PS2. I mean, Bully is great. Bully is really fantastic, and I'm having a lot of fun revisiting it. I mean, it's really fun seeing them. I played it back in the day. I finished it back in the day, but I've not really played very much of it. 20 years ago this year it came out, so it's been a while. It's a lot smaller than their other games, because basically you've got the campus of the posh boarding school you're at, and then a very small town on the outside of it you can explore, do some jobs. Versus 2 years earlier they did San Andreas, which is 3 gargantuan cities, you know. But the smaller focus means that, like, the way the characters walk around that world and you see the NPCs interacting is way more detailed and way more involved than it is in the GTA games. And it's still quite impressive 20 years later. Like, you're walking around the campus and like, you'll see bullies just walking up and snatching books off the little kids. And then the prefects come over and then they chase them. And then the little kids can pick their books back up after the bullies drop them. And you'll find footballs and stuff around that you can just kick and just interact with. You can, you know, you'll see kids running off and having a kiss behind the bike sheds and egging the dorm. And I went back to the boys' dorm on stream there on Thursday to save my game, and there was a guy outside egging the dorm. Because
is that the rascals in Bully? What are they doing in the Bully zone?
But they have the preppies and the jocks and all that other stuff. It's really, really, really well made, and it, you know, it's one of the more interesting, again, because all these Rockstar games, they have day-night cycles, but they don't really matter, you know. This game, you've got a class in the morning, a class in the afternoon, a curfew. You can't be on the school grounds after 7. You can't be out of your dorm after 10, so you got to be sneaky. You get punished for skipping your classes. But if you go to your classes, it's not, you know, they found an interesting way to make it actual, not just something you have to do. They're all little mini games. They're not the most involved mini games ever, but like doing well in English class improves the game has a very, very basic speech system. It's not exactly Fallout New Vegas. But like going to English class means you're better at like calming down people. You can kind of charm your way out of situations. Going to gym, the first gym class is a wrestling match. That helps you unlock fighting moves. The second one is dodgeball. I think that increased my sprint or something like that. So you're like, it doesn't really have real RPG elements, but going to class buffs your character in certain ways. It's really, really well done. I'm having a blast with it. It is really, really fantastic. And you know, plus, you know, it still has that kind of like Rockstar kind of razor-tongued kind of attitude about it, but it's just altogether less kind of obnoxious and intense, because there's no shooting and killing and running people over and go over there and get a job off the Italian stereotype gang. Okay, they want you to go and kill the Cajun stereotype gang, and you know, it's a lot more kind of cheeky rather than that. So I'm having a blast with it. I'm really having a blast with it. And if people have not played this game in a while, I would definitely say give it a gander. It's you know, it's great, and people have been pining for a sequel, and I mean that shit ain't happening. I mean, they are just I mean, all the cute little offshoot weird things Rockstar used to do in the PS2 era, it's dead and gone. That era of that company is gone, sadly, but it's blast. Yeah, so that's mainly it. That and Cyberpunk are the 2 things I'm playing. And I think that's it for the game, Guff. So we will call it there for this. Thanks for listening, folks. ChairShotPodcast.com if you want to weigh in on anything we talked about the show, or just ask a question, or just have your say about anything. Also, where you can let us know how you think we're doing on the Fantasy League, which is also at ChairShotPodcast.com. It's maintained and updated very frequently by Paul. He does a great job on that, so you can see how we're all doing. We'll talk to you fine folks again next week. Until then, is goodbye from me, Fabulous. Goodbye from Joe.
Goodbye.
Goodbye from Paul.
Goodbye.